welcome into the Sportsocracy. It is a
Football Friday.
That's right. It's Super Bowl time, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. Super Bowl 57 coming up on Sunday. Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. We will have all of the discussions of the key matchups in the game, all the prop bets that Jeremy has dug up. God knows how many of them are. I saw
What are you, a cop?
I saw the other day where Caesars Sportsbook said that there were 2,000 different ways that you could wager on this Super Bowl.
Well, there's like 100 of them on the halftime show by itself. First of all, if you're gambling on the halftime show, you need a meeting in the basement of a church. And you're my kind of people.
I was going to say, and Jeremy's very, very proud of you.
I am very proud of you. And if you show up at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue, with your betting slip that says you're betting on the halftime show, there might be a mullet maker in your future. Let's go.
There you go. It is going to be fun hanging out down at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue, for the Super Bowl, the big game, whatever you want to call it. There will be drink specials. There will be mullet makers.
The bloodletting.
If you don't know,
cry, Eagles cry.
Oh, stop that. He is so convinced. Asheville Police Chief David Zack joining us in studio, as he does on a Football Friday, and he is so convinced that it is just going to be Kansas City mopping the floor with the Philadelphia Eagles.
What's our line right now? 1.5?
1.5. Philadelphia minus the 1.5. And all I'm saying, and I've said it all week long, and Asheville Police Chief David Zack, I'm not putting words in the man's mouth. I'm just saying he strikes me as a man that he's made a wager or two in his life. If you're looking at a line for 2 solid weeks, every person that says what they're doing out loud is taking the Philadelphia Eagles, and the line never moves. What does that tell you? That tells you Vegas is looking around going, we're going to do just fine. This is why we have goal fixtures, because you're doing what we thought you would do, and now we're going to make all the monies.
Okay. No, actually, on a certain morning show, I said I was going to take I said, I'm taking the Eagles. I don't care what the line is. And then I left, and I said, man, that was one of the dumbest things I've ever said on radio. And you know what?
He immediately went, oh, no, I did a Tank Spencer.
Oh, no, it was the Tank Spencer kiss of death.
I'm like, I didn't mean that. Why did I say that? And no, Chiefs.
Oh, see, the Chief is going.
The Chief is with the Chiefs. I mean, who didn't see that coming?
No, you know why I'm going with the Chiefs? Because I think the refs are going with the Chiefs. So
Oh, no. Are we going NFL's rigged?
Oh, no. He's going full on. The NFL is going to choose
keys
violence,
to the game.
and Philadelphia will burn.
Keys to the game, officiating is going to be one of the –
But Roger Goodell swears to God it's the best it's ever been.
He's awesome. However, I think –
the greatest response to that. He's awesome.
That if on Monday we're talking about officiating, I think that would be the saddest outcome. Is that we're talking about officiating.
If we're talking about officiating on Monday, I am here as the man whose name is on the door, saying, now we're not only taking off Thursday and Friday, we might add Wednesday and Tuesday to it, because I'm not sure I can listen to that. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't understand how we have the technology and you don't use it. Mm-hmm. I've heard what you just said a lot, and and maybe I am giving this league too much credit. But you showed in the divisional round and in the wild card round that you can get this right with the eye in the sky. I absolutely refuse to believe in a Super Bowl where you have the 2 best teams in the NFL, you're going to let that be a story.
But you can't. But technology doesn't pick up holding on the offensive line when you call it. Pass interference, that is not subject to technology. That is more subjective. And I got to believe there's going to be a ton of Cincinnati fans who disagree with what you just said.
But am I the only one? Okay.
Yes.
All right. But am I the only one that thinks that the bang bang calls are not really the ones that we're upset with? What's the number one call you're upset with over the course of we've played 3 weeks of playoff
Roughing
football?
the passer.
Well, I mean, I'm always angry at roughing the passer. It doesn't really count for me because I get angry.
There were 3 penalties on the kick return.
But there are always 3 penalties on a kick. If you break down a kick return like that, it happens on every single one of them. Mm-hmm. Did it have anything directly to do with the return?
Absolutely.
And I'm not
the
so
field.
sure.
The entire field position of that drive was hinged on that drive should have started at the 20-yard line as opposed to the 35 or 4.
That, but what I'm saying is, if the hold doesn't happen, is he going down at the 25-yard line? Because I don't think so. I think if there was a lane there that it was big enough for me to drive my 2023 Platinum Nissan Rogue through.
Well, that was because of all the holding.
I don't disagree with you. But that's how that's always been said, is that we know we could call the block in the back. We can call the I always love the gunner that just hip bumps the defensive player and then throws his hands up like, I didn't touch him. Yeah. He just fell down all on his own. He might be drunk. You should check. I
mean, just like everything, it's when it's called, the time of the game that it's called. Yeah, like you say, you see it on every play. However, when you're calling it as closely as they are on the second to last or third last play of the game, that's where it really all right, come on now.
Oh, I mean,
I think officials get caught up in the emotion of the game. Really
officials are asked to do entirely too much.
Look, I'll be more
much
upset.
like the police.
I'll be more. Good job.
I ain't the only one that can throw a promo. Let's go.
He's awesome. I will be more upset on Monday if we're not talking about the officiating. Because if we're not talking about the officiating, you know what that tells me? It was a blowout.
That's not necessarily true. We've had close games where we don't do that. The thing that makes me most nervous is when I saw the assignment and I saw Carl Cheffers and I went, oh no, of all things to see. It's not good.
But we all know. Close games come down to the finish. It's always going to come down to one or two crucial plays, and somebody's going to. If it's the Kansas City Chiefs end up winning by 3, it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles fans upset about something that the officials missed or didn't call, or the thing that they did call that disrupted the drive or whatever. If we're talking about the officiating, it's because it's a close game. It's because it hinged on one or two plays. If we're not talking about the officiating, then it went exactly as Jeremy said it was going to. It was 31-7 by halftime, and everybody just went, okay, well, now Patrick Mahomes is the greatest of all time, and Andy Reid is greater than we thought he was. And if we're not talking about the officiating, then I will be upset.
Well, I will say, as somebody that will be present and accounted for every second of this game at the Village Porch, 41 North Maryland Avenue, you feel free to join us for all of the festivities.
So where are you going to be?
I'm getting better at this. I didn't throw one promo for 2 years. I'm trying to get them all back in one segment. Right. If this game is not close, I will say the over-under on number of domestic lights that go into Jeremy's face goes through the roof.
Oh, 100%.
If this is close, I think you could be sitting in that 6 to 7 range. If it's not close, you might be sitting in the 16 to 17.
If it's in the 6 to 7, I want the over.
100%.
I do like
it. If it's in the 6 to 7 range, it means that the bartender forgot to show up to the bar and Jeremy could only
reach 6.
Right.
That line opened at 16.
Right. All right. There's something that I've always.
It'll be 6 to 7 in the first quarter.
All right. I'm directing this directly at Asheville Police Chief David Zack. This is something I've always wanted to ask him. I get to ask Tank this all the time, but based on what you just said to me, what are you, a cop?
Just an observer of human behavior.
Yeah, no.
I'm just making a passive observation.
This is data. I'm just following the data like I do with crime data. I'm just following.
Did he just
data
go
driven?
Did he just go full forensic files on my drinking problem? Because that's what that felt like.
Actually, it's no problem at all.
No, it's not for me.
I've never had a problem with it. As we talked earlier, other people had a problem with it.
100%.
Yeah. What is this? So apparently, we'll get into more of the game in a minute, but I got to unpack what
Tank
just
didn't know this
transpired.
story because somehow I didn't tell him this. I forgot to tell him
before we came on the air. So you guys went out to eat with Mark Starling.
Yes,
we did, and our significant others.
And
which was lovely.
While you were out to eat, you chased someone away from the nearby table?
No. I don't like how you said that, because when you say, especially when you put my name in it, and you say we chased someone that away, that makes it sound like we were doing crimes, which we were not doing.
Like Jeremy went to Roost Chris and went full cocaine bear on somebody.
Yeah, see, that's how that sounded. Because the way you just said that, it sounded like I had a club in my hand and someone was in imminent danger. That's not how that went.
That is not how that happened.
Apparently, there were 2 people that were within earshot of us, and they did not love something that happened around us.
Perhaps our conversation was offensive.
I don't.
Perhaps
I was on my best behavior. I know he was too, and all of our spouses were.
I think it was Starling.
It could be.
I think it was Starling.
They were put off by the beard.
They were put off.
Like they looked at Jeremy's and went, now we're ashamed because this other guy dares have a beard in the same presence as the Flostradamus.
Well, I mean, I think you're close, but you put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Here's what I think happened. I think we were in a very nice restaurant, and you can put lipstick on a pig all you want to, but you're still going to ask why it oinks. So when you sit down at a very nice, steakhouse with the cloth tablecloths, and you expect to have a nice dinner, and you look over and Joe Dirt's big cousin with an Irish beard is sitting next to you, apparently that's unsettling to some people.
I didn't even see him move. You guys had to tell me about it later.
I didn't see him either.
Which also means it could have been me, because I didn't even catch it.
I don't think anybody noticed it but Mark Starling, because I think he was genuinely offended that someone would move away from him, and me and Dave were just looking at each other going, "That's not a first for us."
Yeah, this happens to me all the time. Every time I go, "Oh."
That's happened to me so many times that I didn't even notice it. And I can't emphasize this enough, because I do not care. If you must remove yourself from my presence, that is totally fine. But no, facts don't care about your feelings, and neither do I. So,
but it wasn't a situation where someone from the restaurant had to come to your table and be like, "Gentlemen."
No, that never happened.
Actually, the waiter was amazing. I mean, sans one comment where he said I look like a man that would have a McRib in my pocket.
That's how, as we were being seated.
Heck yeah.
He said, "You look like the kind of guy who would have a McRib in their pocket."
I want to change my Twitter bio to that.
That was so good. Great. That was good. I thought that was classic.
I took it as a compliment.
You should have. And that instantly increased his tip by 10%.
Without a doubt. And when I told this to Eddie Fox, because I actually shared this story this morning, he said the only thing that would have made that better is if you'd have pulled one out of your pocket and gone, "What are you, a cop?"
Right. You can't take don't take food into dining establishments. That's not how
pocket dog.
That's not how this works.
It's okay.
The pocket dog.
It's okay to have a pocket dog.
I also had to open his crab legs for him.
I told you that
like
was going to come up.
Like a little boy.
I told you that was going to come up.
I fed him like a baby bird.
Here's the thing. They were tough crab legs to get open. They were as big as my arm, okay? They gave me, and he's also leaving out the fact that he didn't give me the crab fork, which, okay, I'm sitting here gnawing on this thing
you
like
wouldn't
a dog
know.
on a ham
You
bone.
would have started picking your teeth with it. I couldn't give you the crab fork.
He's not wrong. There's actually nothing wrong with what he just said.
So great. Wow, the adventures of the Chief and Flostradamus.
And I out-ate him as well.
I also told you that was going.
You did.
And I told him, I said, we're talking about this on Friday. And when he pushed the last, a quarter of his strip steak away, I said, "You're not going to finish that?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm full, man." And I'm like, "Did you see my plate?"
I actually
all clean.
I actually thought Dave was going to pick the plate up and just drink the remnants off the plate like.
I had the old 90s. I had the old
court.
96er. It was the old 96er.
Did you get the porterhouse with the?
No, the strip was amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And the fish tower, and a loaf of bread, a couple bottles of wine.
First time I went there,
and dessert.
I got the porterhouse and got the blue cheese encrusted.
Good stuff, man.
Oh God, it's so good. But the thing came out. I mean, it was as big as like Johnny Bench's catcher's mitt.
Well, I mean, this is how stupid I am, and this is why we don't take me to nice things. I ordered a steak, and they looked at me, and I kept waiting for him to. What would you like in your potato, or would you like a side salad? And
you didn't get ketchup on your.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I've eaten at Peter Luger's. Trust me, I know how to act in a fine dining establishment.
I just had to know.
You did have a salad, though, didn't you?
I did have salad.
He's dainty.
He's dainty.
He's dainty.
Hey.
Look at the Chief. Chief showed up with both of them in a wheelbarrow today.
I got nothing else to talk about. The Bills are out. I got nothing to talk about.
You're talking to a man who lives by, and I said this on the show yesterday, I live by 4 basic tenant food groups. All right, there's protein, nicotine, alcohol, and anger. That's it. Which Tank immediately said that is the recipe for a massive coronary about Tuesday. So sometimes you got to get your leafy greens and your cruciferous vegetables.
We will have less about the cruciferous vegetables and more on the stupendous matchup that we have in Super Bowl 57 coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Milk, eggs, $42. Ma'am, you okay?
Need bucks? With Jackson Hewitt, don't wait weeks for the IRS to send your tax refund. Come in now for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee refund advance loan when you file your taxes. That's up to $3,500 today. Don't let high prices get you down. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes. So get to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Being a real estate agent isn't about listing houses. It's about connecting to people. I need to find new buyers every day, so I promote my listings using radio commercials from iHeartAdBuilder.com. Now every time I have an open house, it's a full house.
A custom radio ad from iHeartAdBuilder is the fast, affordable way to drive customers to your business. Put the power of radio to work for you. Get started now at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways children of all ages can learn about sustainability and the environment at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Wendy's home-style French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
You You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. I got so distracted by the restaurant stories that I didn't even do the setup correctly. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
That's never happened before.
92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Of course, you can hear us everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. See us everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. We're taking all of your Super Bowl prognostications in the chat today. I mean, we don't have it set up to have like a winner or anything, but bragging rights are on the line. Put in your final scores, put in your best prop bets, all those things. We'll have a record of it, and then we can go back and say, see, yeah, I was right about something.
Oh, we can totally do that. I mean, because frankly, that's just clean sweep.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy won the regular season, postseason. I mean, frankly, I think if we'd bet on the Pro Bowl, I'd probably gotten that right, too.
Yeah, it is our final football Friday of the year.
But it is not our last visit with Asheville Police Chief David Zack.
No. There's no reason that this relationship needs to take
we've already discussed this. We're far beyond football friends. Just because we stopped playing the foosball doesn't mean that you get to stop showing up. All right?
Exactly. I mean, I feel like I need to go get kicked out of a Bennigan's with you at some point. So.
Okay, I got news for you, and I mean this as nicely as I can. If he and I get kicked out of a Bennigan's, I can think of no less than 2 or 3 reasons why. If you get kicked out of a Bennigan's, your next destination is probably to jail.
Maybe.
Because you had to do something seriously over the top. I've eaten things that were more threatening on the plate than you are.
This is true.
So if you get kicked out, you did something straight up weird.
Or all I have to do is just be in cahoots with the hoodlums over here.
That'll do it.
Chase people away.
That'll do it.
Sometimes you choose violence.
That's right. And a lot of violence is going to be chosen this weekend. Not only on the football field in Arizona for the Super Bowl, but it's you're the top cop here in town. How would you plan on dealing with a mob after the? That's one of the things that
is greasing poles.
Right, like cops having to grease the light poles in Philadelphia to keep the protesters
you know what? I
off
think that was actually mild. I remember what was it, Vancouver, after a Stanley Cup final where and they lost and people went crazy.
Yeah, but that's Canada.
It was like 05, 06.
Look, and don't get me wrong, I love Canada, but they get Super Bowl level excited for Game 2 of the Stanley Cup. Canada, you're from right outside of there.
I can throw a rock.
They do. I mean, he could probably attest this better than I can, but we've got several Canadian friends here. They party slightly different.
Oh.
Ain't no party like a Canadian party because a Canadian party don't stop.
We could do a show on my interaction with Canada throughout my law enforcement career.
That sounds great.
There are no less.
And I have a lot of Canadian friends too. But yeah, it's a different. Someday I'll tell. Back in the day, when the bars in Buffalo were still open till 4, and they accepted Canadian money. Back then, the exchange rate was like 50%, and they used to accept Canadian money at par. And Canadians would come down to Buffalo to drink.
Yeah,
those are some fun Friday nights.
I could imagine.
Those are some interesting Friday nights.
I could imagine.
That cell block
just
is
go
full.
Across the border and just get hammered.
The holding cell was its own nightclub. They brought in a disco ball so everyone would be entertained.
It's just one of the things that always kills me about the Super Bowl and the celebrations and stuff. Like, I've never been a part of that. I've never been a part of like a giant street celebration, like being down on Franklin Street when the Tar Heels win, or being downtown Philadelphia. I can't even imagine the melee.
And of course, this has never happened in Buffalo. So
well,
but it would be.
It's not a West Virginia thing either. I mean, frankly, we're sitting around a table here, and there are 3 people. Some folk will never light a car on fire, and then again, some folk will. And I know at least one of us, theoretically, not saying I ever have, not saying I ever would. I did get a few couches, though.
I could say this: should the Bills ever win a Super Bowl, I'll either be part of the problem or the solution. Most likely, I'll be part of the problem.
If the New York, I will say this because I've said this on this show before. if the New York Jets ever win a Super Bowl, which last night I feel like we definitely checked the box if we're getting closer. That's the third team in NFL history to ever have the offensive and defensive rookie of the year, plus Hall of Famers in Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis. Let's go. If that day ever comes, I am certainly going to be part of the problem. Mm-hmm. Frankly, I'm going to be the problem, and clothing will be optional at best.
Right.
And our relationship for but one night will be much more complicated than it's been in the past.
I mean, Buffalo Bills fans, y'all get rowdy and break tables and set things on fire just for Sundays. Mm-hmm. So winning a Super Bowl to me would be. I mean, well, did you ever see the movie Bruce Almighty? Did you see when everyone won the lottery and Buffalo burned to the ground because the Sabres won the cup and everything great happened, and then it didn't all happen great, and they burnt the city to the ground? That's probably what it would be like.
It would be days long celebration.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you wouldn't see that type of thing happen. Maybe isolated. But schools would be canceled, and, the city would go absolutely wild, and it would take days to calm down.
I think it's funny because I was reading an article earlier today that they're not doing the Crisco on the poles anymore. The Philadelphia police decided that Crisco was not slippery enough to put on the poles, so they had to come up with a different solution to keep the pole climbers off the poles, which never works anyway. They always figure out a way.
There were no less than 4 jokes I wanted to tell right there, and I didn't because
I think I would consider super glue. That'd put this
100%.
Super glue, yeah.
That's modern problems require modern solutions.
But then that's also assault, isn't it? I mean,
I didn't tell you to touch that pole.
Here's the thing: you made your own choice.
So now they're using a biodegradable fluid solution. There's not even a name for what this is that they're putting on the poles now, but. The reporters went and asked the Philadelphia cops about it, and then they said, well, we got to do both sides of the story because we're reporters, and that's what we do. So they go to the Kansas City chief or police chief, and they ask him, like, so do y'all grease your poles? Do you have to go to these extra measures to keep people from breaking things? He goes, no, I mean, we're more Midwestern nice around here. That was his exact quote, was that, I mean, yes, you got to be on the lookout for some people who are doing some bad things, but for the most part, it's going to be a little muted, because we just don't get rowdy like the Philadelphians do.
Well, I mean,
probably correct.
Nobody gets rowdy like Philadelphia does. I mean, Kansas City, he's absolutely right. I don't know if you've ever been to the Midwest. Right. They'd be apologizing to each other for setting their cars on fire.
Well, I mean, Eagles fans are out here climbing poles and getting on bus sheds and eating turds out of the street.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like it's a really easy solution. All right, on my way to work today, I was behind a reusable grease truck. It's where they take fryer grease.
Oh, the biofuels.
The biofuels, and they turn it into gas. Yeah. All right, I got an idea. How about we just coat the light poles in used fryer grease, and whoever smells like French fries did something wrong. I got it. Yeah. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, but then you could go to court and you could argue that I'm just a fat slob that
I work at Burger King.
You're right. Like I smell like this all the time. You couldn't do that. That's circumstantial evidence, I think they call that. I'm not an expert. I'm not a lawyer.
Now we need the DA on the show.
I don't. After yesterday, I'm very sure that'll never happen. But I feel like there's a difference between I work at Burger King, gut grease on me, smell like French fries, and I'm doused in fryer grease that came off a light pole. To me, that strikes me as a different. That's a different uniform that you're wearing.
Did you ever work fast food?
What do you think?
Did you ever live with somebody that worked fast food?
Yes.
All your stuff smells like fryer grease.
I didn't have that problem.
Really?
No. Ugh. But I'm also dainty.
You are dainty.
I am dainty.
You are dainty and bougie with your salads.
He's not bougie. I had to open his crab legs.
Oh, that is true.
I will say.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he got you to do it for him. He's perfect at it. He just didn't want to, and he knew that you would do it for him.
It was to the point it was pathetic to watch. And I'm like, just give it to me. Just give it to me. Let me open this for you.
Look, he's trying to. Jeremy's over here trying to hit the claw on the table like, it's not opening.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's the chain of screaming. He makes jokes at me. I make jokes at you. And frankly, where I was headed with that is if there's anybody on this planet that would be the aficionado on being covered in French fry grease, it would have been Tank.
Fair point.
And now Tank's going to go sit in his car and yell at the steering wheel because that's where the chain of screaming ends.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Big change up to the weekend forecast here in Asheville with a deep low coming up from the south. It's got some cold air with it also. And we could see a rain-snow mix here for Sunday morning. 37 degrees our low tonight. Afternoon rains on Saturday, high 52. Half-inch rain Saturday night. Rain-snow mix Sunday, high 39. Low Sunday night down to 27 degrees. Could see some accumulations, especially in the mountains. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is here. Shop and save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. Plus, get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. Find your dream bed at Mattress Firm. Then cozy up on your new bed because there's nothing better than staying in.
Live from Radio Row, it's Super Bowl week, and there's no better way to stay up to speed than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for the latest football news with just a touch of mirth.
We've got the #1 football podcast in the world, and Rihanna is playing the Apple Music halftime show. It doesn't get much better than that, guys.
Hang out with us live from Glendale, Arizona, all week long. Listen to Around the NFL on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
No one has the same taste as you.
You damn right.
From the music you love to the podcasts you can't live without. And only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
The Ingles 2023 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 4th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Peck Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And the Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday. Don't forget to join us. We'll be live during the Super Bowl, not on the YouTube. We've been asked that question several times. Are we going to be doing a live stream during the Super Bowl?
There's a handful of problems with that. One, audio-wise, you would not be able to hear a word we said because we don't have anything that can cut background noise like that. The other problem is internet connection, which around there, you can understand, it takes quite a bit of power to power these things, and we just don't have the the
bandwidth.
infrastructure we can take that on the road, but it requires a very specific kind of connection.
Right.
And we would love to do it. We might do a couple of Facebook Lives because we could, in theory, do that.
We could do that.
So we've done that in the past. And we probably should just plan on doing that.
Well, yeah, sure.
I mean,
And
by
we
the
could
third quarter, you might need a translator for me because I can't promise you I'm going to be speaking a language that you understand.
We can do some social media pop-ins and things like that throughout the game if that is what is asked of us. But I mean, if you want to hang out with us for the Super Bowl, come on down to the Village Porch, North Merriman Avenue, 41 North Merriman Avenue in the Reynolds Village little subdivision. It's a great place to watch a game.
Oh,
they
it's
got
gonna be
awesome
great.
food. Obviously,
Liked it there.
Yeah,
I like it there.
Yeah.
They have
Are
very
you
high
joining
end
us
chicken
for the
wings.
game?
I will not be.
Aww.
I'm having a little gathering. Small gathering.
Yeah. See, you should just drop all of those plans. You don't have to do anything to prep up to be at the bar.
I do. Need something starchy.
You and your dainty salad.
Yeah, there will be no Caesar salad heading into this. This is one of those. Brian Hall likes to carbo load before he does a marathon. It's the same premise with a lot less running.
Come on down to the Village Porch, hang out with us, watch the Super Bowl. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll have some door prizes to give away. George has got some stuff for us to give away, and obviously Jeremy's got the mullet makers going to be flying off the counter there. That's domestic light, along with the fire. It's the Fireball with the domestic light chaser.
Correct. Yeah, don't drop the. Don't drop the Fireball.
100% you do.
That
And if you don't do it that way, then you're just cheating the system.
Well, I mean, I'll do it that way because I'm a big dumb animal and I do what I'm told. But especially when it comes to that. Oh, you mean this will go faster this way? Let's go.
Let's just funnel it into the vein. Is really what he's looking
I don't like
for.
needles.
But yeah, it's going to be a crazy scene in either of the cities after the game is over. What is it going to take for Philadelphia fans to climb the polls, and what is it going to take for Kansas City fans to be Midwestern nice, but celebrate still? To you, Chief David Zack, because Jeremy and I have been talking about this game all week.
Frankly, we've done everything short of break down the windbreaker attire for Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni.
You said you were on the morning report with Mark Starling earlier this week, and you said Philadelphia.
I didn't
don't
care what the spread is. Yeah, I think that was more with my heart than my head. I think.
Okay, and so then you
was that just wanting to get revenge on Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
Of course it was.
That
It was a
makes
hate
sense.
pick. It was a hate pick, and we can't blame you for that. But you said you've backtracked now, and you've gone to, no, it's Kansas City. So what is it for you that is the linchpin in the turning point?
Could someone please stop Kelsey?
It's tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why though? I just.
Well, I mean, because he's 6'5" and runs like he's a 6'1".
But I mean, he's
receiver.
even more dominant than Gronk.
Oh, no doubt. He's the best tight
and
end
it's just his ability to get open. I don't know. Maybe that's an officiating issue. Maybe he pushes off a lot. I don't know. But he gets away with it, and he's just unstoppable in the yards after the catch. And the second Mahomes starts to struggle, you know where the ball's going.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you defend it? Why hasn't anyone been able to? I mean, he's good. He's the best tight end. Will probably be of all time when it's all said and done. But
I think he's already there.
Yeah. Back we thought it was Gronk.
Yep.
Right. And
it was Antonio Gates. Well, it was Tony Gonzalez.
Kellen
then it
Winslow.
went Antonio Gates. Then it went Rob Gronkowski.
Antonio Gates never took it from Tony Gonzalez.
No, he didn't. But I mean, he was the next best thing.
And before that, it was Kellen Winslow, I think.
For a brief window.
Brief window from what the
you're
early
talking about
80s.
Senior. You're not.
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about
Oh,
junior.
yeah. Yeah.
certainly
Senior.
wasn't talking about Kellen Winslow Jr.
Oh boy.
Unless you were
one year
talking
where he
about, unless the question was who's the best tight end ever to wind up in federal prison after being a top 10 pick. Yeah, Kellen Winslow Jr. is
He was unstoppable back in the day.
He's the Michael Jordan of that. But
I wasn't following you. I was like, where does Kellen Winslow fit in this?
Well, you know what? You were being very kind about it.
I was.
100%.
You're like, maybe. I'm like,
Nope.
maybe.
Jeremy chose violence. Here's the thing: if you do things that stupid, I'm not going to be nice about it.
But I mean, I think that's it. I mean, obviously, you gotta make Mahomes uncomfortable, which I think the Philadelphia defense can do.
Yes, they can.
They're capable of doing that. But Mahomes will then shift to Kelce, and can you stop that? And no one's been able to come up with that. And
the thing about Kelce is that you can't even, all right, in a perfect world, name me the player in the NFL that you feel like I could have on my defense that one-on-one's going to deal with him. That's where I get with Travis Kelce. Okay,
We don't really have that guy. That guy doesn't exist.
That guy's not in the league.
I mean, maybe
Isaiah Simmons is the only one I can think of.
That was exactly
and he's nowhere
the name.
near the player. He's the body type.
Yes.
So you need somebody that's 6'4", 250, runs a 4.40, and is a shutdown cover guy.
But I need you to be.
And I need you to be a really sure tackler, because if he catches it, you got to be able to get him down too.
Yes.
You might as well say, well, what is Optimus Prime doing right now? Because that's what I really need. I need a transformer to stop this guy. And I feel that's why I've been so in on Kansas City, is I feel like that's what everybody looks at Kansas City and they just go, you know what, Kelce, we're going to have to bracket him, double him, whatever the case may be. And at some point, you're going to give me that in where that safety comes down because you think on a 3rd and 6. This is what Andy Reid does better than any play caller I've ever seen. He takes what you know of him and uses it against you. Mm-hmm. He is a master at this. I talked about it with the Dallas Cowboys when they played Tampa Bay. 25 times they had lined up in that base goal line personnel. 25 times it had gone to Ezekiel Elliott. 25 times it went between the guards. Tampa Bay knew that. Mm-hmm. So what did they do? They collapsed all 11 guys down, and Dak Prescott went, still got it.
Yeah, bye.
Andy Reid does that every single week. Every week. Because the minute you think you can just bracket down on Kelce, because this is a no-doubt Kelce spot, he hits you over the top with Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Kadarius Toney or whatever receiver.
But I would say force them to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Force them to do that. It's kind of, it's kind of like the inverse of Belichick, right? What do you do best? And I'm going to try and take it away from you and force you to beat me a different way. And just everybody's getting beat by that combo, and no one has figured out how to even slow it down, much less stop it.
So, yeah, but I mean, Travis Kelce is phenomenal. He's the greatest of all time. He's amazing. He's unstoppable. All of the things. But I mean, he can have his games where he disappears. And the last time they faced off against the Eagles, I don't know what the scheme was. I wasn't watching the tape, all 22 tape on it. I don't know what happened, but apparently he was neutralized the last time. He only had like 4 catches for 30 yards. Now, what that means for this game, nothing. Obviously, you got lucky. I don't know what happened with the scenarios in that game that they just had to abandon it. Do I foresee that happening again? No, but I also foresee that's obviously going to be a key for Jonathan Gannon in the game plan of I just have to not let him kill me. Of course, we've seen it. Teams try to do this to the greatest players of all time before, and it still doesn't matter. I mean, hell, I still can't get over the fact that last year in the NFC Championship game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers forgot to cover Cooper Kupp at the end of the game. What is that?
This is his 21st game of the year. How many times has he been below 50 receiving yards all year long?
Twice, maybe.
It's 3.
Yeah.
And one of them, he was at 43. So I got a friend that was a safety in the NFL. Smart guy. And I asked, how exactly are you supposed to defend Travis Kelce? And he said, here's the problem with, all right, so you commit the resources to Kelce, of what you said, you got to force him to do that. The problem with that strategy is you could do that and still not stop him.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of teams just look at him and go, we'll let him get his. We'll let him have these, 4 for 71, 6 for 113, but keep him out of the end zone. Mm-hmm. Because in the end zone, now I've got an extra defender in the end line where I know he can only go so far. If you run by me, you run out of room 14 yards in. Mm-hmm. The problem in between the 20s, what exactly are you supposed to do? All right, so let's say you double bracket him, and he just lays down in between the two because they do it all the time. That was the Tyreek Hill route of I'm going to find that soft spot in your zone, and I'm just going to lay down in it. There is no way for you to react to that. And that is the beauty of – to me, it's all the marriage of Andy Reid, of Pat Mahomes, because he is a magician at that. And he's had 2 of the best receivers that I've ever seen at manipulating it. And they just always seem to be on the same page. It is impossible to defend a tight end that has 3 possible solutions, and they do this on every play. He's got 3 potential outcomes here because virtually everything he does is an option route to some degree. Mm-hmm. And all I'm doing is judging how you're defending me. I'll make the best decision. And they're always on the same page. That's why Travis Kelce is so dangerous. Physically, he's a freak of nature. He's also really bright, and I've never seen a tight end that much in tune with his quarterback. Mm-hmm. But they're not the only one that gets the ball in this game.
No, they're not. We'll continue the discussion on Super Bowl 57, plus give you the picks, coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect. Cheers, Dad.
At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
I'm here at the Big Game headquarters, Total Wine and More, scoring huge savings on the perfect bourbon, local craft beer.
Forgetting something?
Oh yeah, Cabernet, seltzers, and so many low prices.
Valentine's Day is right after.
Whoa, new game plan.
You got this. Total Wine can help you score the perfect bubbly, too.
Thank you, I would have been so...
You sure would have.
Your Big Game headquarters. Love what you find, always at the lowest price. Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. We're in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. It is a
Football Friday,
and we got Asheville Police Chief David Zack in here with us. So it's time to I guess put our reputations on the line once again against Jeremy.
I've won everything all year. So
gosh,
and you know what that means? It means I'm the reigning defending.
The hubris comes slightly before.
I don't know where to go to get my reputation back. I don't even know where to go.
I never had one, so this frankly, this is all I got. According to Twitter comments, I'm a big dumb redneck that lives in my mother's basement.
I would just like to point out.
That's in the last hour, by the way.
You don't live in your mother's basement.
Correct.
I would just like to point out as much shade as Jeremy likes to throw my way, and there's 2 straight years in Super Bowls that I have beaten you on the game picks. So,
yeah,
just saying.
There's that hubris again. You don't huber like I do.
Which is why you shall fall the hardest. The Philadelphia Eagles are a 1.5-point favorite, and Jeremy's been making the point all week of, well, Vegas knows something's up because so many people are on Philadelphia and they're not changing the line.
There's no hedge. That tells me that Vegas loves to set traps, and they're very good at it. Philadelphia fans they've hubered quite a lot as well. At the end of the day, I still get Pat Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Would it shock me if Philadelphia won this game? No, it wouldn't. You know what else wouldn't shock me? And I heard this on the Dan Patrick Show earlier. If we walk away from this and go, man, Andy Reid just coached a masterclass against Nick Sirianni. That wouldn't shock me in the least.
That's fair.
A lot of positive outcomes possible for Kansas City.
All right, so Philadelphia minus the 1.5. Are you taking Kansas City plus the number?
I will take the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City. All right, Chief, what do you think?
I'm on Kansas City as well. I think they got the better quarterback. They got the better coach. They've been there before, and they seem like a train that can't be derailed right now.
Yeah. For all of that, I just can't. I can't do it. I'm going to be on the Philadelphia side. I've been saying all week that I feel like this game is going to be much closer than Jeremy has made it out to be, saying that the Chiefs are going to win.
Well, we also have a discrepancy in what constitutes a blowout.
Right.
To me, if this is, let's say this final score is 35-24, that's a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
I blew you out. I beat you by 11 points in a game that I'm a 1.5-point dog.
Right.
One of our resident Eagles fans, Justin Parton, just said, "No, the tank is a death. I don't even need to watch the game now."
Look, Justin, like I said, the year before, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last year, I got the L.A. Rams. When it comes to the big game, I'm 2-0 in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and one of them was your team, and you are the definition of a homer.
Yeah, but I don't care. I was still right and you were wrong, and that's all.
I was on the Rams last year too. I was on the Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy was taking the sexy pick with the Cincinnati Bengals, and it didn't work out in your favor. I'm just saying the Tank Spencer kiss of death is not always the case. Might be 95%.
I was about to say a broke watch is right twice a day. They're Jets +7.
Shut up! You did that too, so don't even.
Not in a game where we lost 54-13. I didn't.
Fair enough. Anyhow, some of the prop bets.
Well, you got to get to the over/under. That's not a prop.
Oh well, the over/under. Excuse me. The over/under is 51 and
over.
Yeah, I think it's way over.
I'm with both of you guys on that,
Yeah.
I don't think this Philadelphia defense is as shut down as people want to make it out to be.
No. And then Philadelphia is going to be able to score points because Kansas City's defense isn't even – they don't even have the shutdown moniker.
No, but they've got some good corners.
Yeah, they're fine. We're all solidly on the over 51.
Yes.
All right, prop bets. Prop bet time. Total yards for Jalen Hurts is at 296.5.
I'll go under. Not by a lot, but I'll go under.
That's where I'm at as well.
I would say it's probably 220 passing. I'll go 65 rushing. I think Kansas City actually wants him to run more than we have let on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think – what was it? The prop on his rushing stats I saw earlier this week was 50.5. I think there's a great chance that he goes over that.
He doesn't.
I think he has to for them to be successful.
Yeah. He doesn't do that as often as people think.
But I don't
that
think
he
the
does.
passing is. I mean, while he's going to be able to take advantage in some spots, I just don't think it's going to be a huge numbers game for him. So I'm seeing he could easily have 260 total yards.
That means you think it's
win.
more Miles Sanders.
It's a combination of all of them.
That's a common thought.
Yeah, it's a combination of all of them for me. Are you taking the over or the under on total yards for Jalen Hurts at 296.5, Chief Zack?
I am taking the under. And one of my keys, what I thought was going to be a key to the game would be, could Hurts extend drives with his legs on third down? And if he's successful, Philadelphia has a better chance. But, again, I'm picking KC, and I just don't think it happens.
Passing yards for Patrick Mahomes.
Over. I don't care. I don't care if it's 370. I don't care.
294.5.
Oh, easily.
Over.
Yeah, that's the safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not. I mean, this is when you lean on your star.
Mm-hmm.
You lean on your star to do what he does best, and over 300 yards is. I don't see this game going any other way.
All right, we got 30 seconds left. Everybody pick an MVP that's not Pat Mahomes or Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
and I'll go last because I have one that I don't think either one of you are going to take.
All right.
I'll say Kelsey then.
All right. Chiefs going Kelsey. I'm going Hassan Reddick.
I'm going Juju Smith-Schuster.
Ooh.
I like the slot against Philadelphia a lot.
All right, we'll circle back and we'll look at how the picks went coming up on Monday in the recap. Chief, we'll see you next time.
I hope so.
Asheville Police Chief David Zack joining us here in the Ingles studio. We'll continue the breakdown of Super Bowl 57 up next.
Asheville with a deep low coming up from the south. It's got some cold air with it also. And we could see a rain-snow mix here for Sunday morning. 37 degrees our low tonight. Afternoon rains on Saturday, high 52. Half-inch rain Saturday night. Rain-snow mix Sunday, high 39. Low Sunday night down to 27 degrees. Could see some accumulations, especially in the mountains. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. This winter, there are new COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. If it's been at least 2 months since your primary series or original booster, schedule your updated COVID-19 booster dose at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Need weekend plans? Check out what's happening at your local Lowe's. Weekending at Lowe's gives you and your family the opportunity to make them your weekend destination with free events, workshops, and more. Visit Lowe's.com/events for this month's full lineup.
Live from Radio Row, it's Super Bowl week, and there's no better way to stay up to speed than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for the latest football news with just a touch of mirth.
We've got the #1 football podcast in the world, and Rihanna is playing the Apple Music halftime show. It doesn't get much better than that, guys.
Hang out with us live from Glendale, Arizona all week long. Listen to Around the NFL on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Tiger announcing today that he'll compete next week in the Genesis Invitational in Los Angeles. That tournament benefits the Tiger Woods Foundation. It was 2 years ago after this tournament when Tiger suffered the car crash, which had major leg injuries that Tiger has been dealing with. 9 rounds of golf last year, all of them in the major tournaments. Last time we saw him, he was bowing out, didn't make the cut at the 150th Open Championship. 11 games in the association tonight, including the Mavericks in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Luka Doncic out for a 4th consecutive game. He's dealing with a heel injury. He did practice this afternoon in Sacramento for a morning shoot-around. ESPN television doubleheader starts in Boston. Celtics play host to the Charlotte Hornets. Celtics begin life without Jaylen Brown for a while. Suffered a broken bone in his face 2 nights ago.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville. He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We can be seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat and you get the live alerts and all those things. Join the House of Reprehensibles as well while you're there if you would like. Just a way for you to be a bigger part of the family, show a little appreciation for the Sportsocracy here, and get that little beer mug next to your name in the chat, because that's just a status symbol. And if you don't have that, I mean, it's like, it's like the story of the Sneetches from Dr. Seuss. If you don't have your beer mug, then we'll mock you. No, we won't do that. We love everyone in the chat, and we encourage everybody to get involved each and every day.
I don't know what a Sneetch is.
Of course you don't, because you had no childhood.
I did.
We've been over this before. You were smoking heaters, drinking coffee, and studying box scores at 6. I, on the other hand, was raised by hippies and learned every valuable lesson from Dr. Seuss and Disney.
Yeah. I got Dr. Dre instead of Dr. Seuss.
And then I never figured out how that worked. Like, your mom is the sweetest person on the planet. You know, you say all the time, she's a Baptist singer and all this. Like, how did you do that?
Well,
how did you get raised by 2 Live Crew and then, but also be raised by her at the same time?
You ever heard the song "Mama Tried" by Merle Haggard?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It does kind of.
Yep. Parents try their best sometimes, and the apples sometimes fall far from the trees.
Patrick Holt said, I learned to ride a bike when I was 17. Hey, I was 13.
He did.
Then he followed it up with rode his bike to the store to buy Marlboros.
No, he couldn't do that till he was well over 18 because Jeremy looked like a baby back then.
It's also the wrong. Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
It is the Sportsocracy and the biggest matchups that can swing the Super Bowl. That's what we need to be focusing on here in this next hour of the program. Fire it away in the comments if you've got a matchup you want us to talk about. I think to me the thing that hinges this game for the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be the defensive pressure. We have seen Patrick Mahomes under duress in a Super Bowl before. Yes, it's a completely different offensive line than he had when they faced off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 years ago. I know. This line is way better than that line was. But this pass rush, I think, is way better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers brought, and that was a pretty ferocious effort. I mean, 78 sacks in a season, any team's going to struggle to defend against that. Or to protect against that, I guess I should say.
Well, I feel like people they're undervaluing the interior of that Kansas City line. I've heard the pass rush 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the same setup all year long. And yet nobody's gotten to Pat Mahomes at a consistent clip. And there's a very simple reason for that. Because you're not going to get there by getting into his face. It's the old Tom Brady rule. You can send edge rushers until you're blue in the face. If I know that I can step up. That's where Pat Mahomes just kills people.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 3 of the best interior linemen in the league, which neutralizes Fletcher Cox, that neutralizes Javon Hargrave, neutralizes
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis is more of a run stopper guy. I'm not overly worried about that. I just don't think if that's what you're hanging your hat on, this guy gets the ball out of his hands quicker than practically any quarterback in NFL history. And he can do it at different arm angles. If you take away one Super Bowl with a far inferior line, I've never really seen anybody do that to him. So why in the world would I think it's going to happen now?
Mm-hmm. You've never seen anybody get after him. You've never seen anybody make him uncomfortable.
How many games in his career have you ever looked at it and gone, man, pass rush is what beat the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, it's about.
I feel like it happened once, and Andy Reid went, that's never happening again.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's at least 4 or 5. We've seen big games where he's been under duress, and they've been against the usual suspects. I mean, at least the last couple of years. The loss to Cincinnati last year in the playoffs, the loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Buffalo Bills, I think, have beaten them twice in the last 3 years. Getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes is a pretty good way to disrupt what they're trying to do. I mean, if you're not going to trust your corners and your secondary to be able to cover the receivers, you have to make Patrick Mahomes make quick decisions. You have to get him uncomfortable.
One of my biggest aversions to Philadelphia is that they do trust their corners one-on-one in large part to deal with that.
And against these receivers, I kind of think they should.
Nobody hadn't stopped them all year long.
I get it.
We've done this all year long. Well, they don't have Tyreek Hill. And I'm going to say it for the 400th time. I'm not sure it doesn't make the offense better. Because now I'm not looking at that one guy. Mm-hmm. It could be anybody in my little bag of tricks. Andy Reid said it at media night there is a guy that none of you are talking about that is going to have a big imprint on this game. Now, frankly, I cannot figure out who that person is unless he is. Please don't be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Of all people, I've been right about that for 4 years, and I just need to keep riding that one into the sunset.
No, I think if it's going to be any of the running backs, it's going to be Jerick McKinnon.
McKinnon might be the one because everybody's gotten, and that's my biggest matchup of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's with two entities that aren't even on the field at the same time. It's Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell, whatever, whoever else you want to chuck out there.
Mm-hmm.
Against that Isaiah Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, and whatever you get from Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
See, I don't feel like that's a fair fight. I really don't, because the game plans are going to be completely different for these teams. I mean, the opportunities are just not going to be as plentiful for the Kansas City running backs as they will be for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't necessarily agree with you.
Really? You think Andy Reid's going to come out with a ground and pound?
If Andy Reid comes out with a we're going to drop 7, and I'll go with what Chief Zack said of we're going to stop Travis Kelce no matter what. If that's your game plan, they're going to eat you alive running the ball. Because there's this misnomer that, well, they added Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, and all of a sudden they're the best run defense in the league. No, they were not. They played a lot of bad rushing teams. And they were definitely better. That's still been a way to affect this team all year long. The problem is they get in front of you. That's been my rallying cry on Philadelphia. I'm not saying you're not good. That's what this has turned into. And trust me, my Twitter mentions will. You're not listening to what I'm saying, and that's perfectly fine. You can. All I can do is let it come out of my mouth. You'll hear it the way you want to hear it. Philadelphia does this, and it's what they've done masterfully. Is that they get out in front of you, they make you one-dimensional, and that makes that defense just ferocious. Because now I've taken away the thing that you were able to manipulate me with at one point in the season. When you could run on me, and I was on my heels, and I didn't really know. You got to understand, there's a lot of moving parts that come with that Philadelphia defense. There's not a lot of moving parts that come with Kansas City. They're going to play largely in a base or a nickel probably 95% of the time. Not a lot of variance there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they do. Philadelphia has just an outrageous amount of players that play defensively. And so if I can keep you off track, and I've got Jordan Davis out here in passing situations, and I've got Javon Hargrave out here in rushing situations. Okay. Now you're the same team I saw earlier in the year. Now you're the same team that really struggled to stop the run, and all I have to do is keep you off track.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can say the same thing backwards. If Kansas City can't run the ball to save their lives, and now they are just totally one-dimensional, that's advantage Eagles. It's advantage Eagles because you have taken away two absolutely huge parts of this offense. Mm-hmm. It doesn't show in a box score how different this team looks with Isaiah Pacheco. When you had the little bowling ball, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, there were times that I think I could have called out what the play was. I could look at how they were lined up and go, I feel like I know where this play's headed. Now, I have no clue. Mm-hmm. I see Jerick McKinnon come in the backfield, and there's no telling where he's going. And I've got the mad scientist Andy Reid doing it. And that is why, to me, the backfields of these two teams are – I think it's the paramount matchup in this. I know that sounds weird in a game with Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Chris Jones. I keep doing that. If you become one-dimensional on any side, you're doomed.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of my fear for Kansas City. Because if I can see one of these teams being limited to just doing one thing, it's Kansas City.
It hasn't really been a problem all year long.
And I know. And trust me, I know. When you look at a guy who's put up stats like Patrick Mahomes has, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he lost the best receiver most quarterbacks have ever played with, and somehow the stats got better.
It makes perfect sense.
Somehow this offense got better.
It makes perfect sense. It is hard to keep a receiver like Tyreek Hill healthy. Or not healthy. To keep him happy. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you noticed, Andy Reid had a little dig comment on him this week of, I'm glad he got his catches. Good for him. I don't have to worry about that now. I go 6 deep at receiver. You have no clue what I'm going to do. It's a lot of – I mean, look, nobody wants to admit this, but Andy Reid at this point is a lot like Kyle Shanahan. There's a lot of eye candy that happens before the snap, and that keeps you off – that keeps you on your heels way more than people are wanting to give it credit for. You start throwing all these things at me, all I'm looking for is how did you react? And if it becomes I'm not even – and that's how some teams react to this. If I'm not going to look at the eye candy, great, I've got to play for that. If you overreact to it, I got to play for that too. And that's where, to me, you start exposing some individual matchups that are more important in this game than I've heard people fixate on.
I can definitely see that. But the Philadelphia Eagles, to me, their defense is just loaded. And I don't see Kansas City scoring at will against them. I think this is going to be a tougher matchup for Patrick Mahomes than you believe it's going to be. I believe that it is going to be tough sledding for that offensive line to keep the Hellhounds at bay. And when we picked with the Chief, the MVP of the Super Bowl, I went with Hassan Reddick because I can see him having a Von Miller type of a game in this Super Bowl, like Von Miller had against the Carolina Panthers.
I don't line. Because I don't know who he's. So how exactly? So walk me through how this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. I actually, we got to take a break. There's an element that for whatever reason, people just seem to keep forgetting this, and I don't get it. And so I'm going to say it really obviously. And when I say it, I feel like people are going to, oh yeah, we didn't think of that.
You're in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound in Haywood County, crawling between NC 209 and US 276. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road, expect delays. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Need bucks? With Jackson Hewitt, don't wait weeks for the IRS to send your tax refund. Come in today for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee refund advance loan when you file your taxes at Jackson Hewitt. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Of course, your favorite station is on the free iHeartRadio app. Take us with you anywhere and listen anytime. Plus, get thousands of other stations and playlists all free. Download our free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with peak long life universal pre-mixed antifreeze and coolant. Now just $6.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly. Limits apply. See store for details.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, Super Bowl 57, 6:30 on Sunday. Join us at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. That is the football home away from home for the Sportsocracy, and we'll be doing the Sportsocracy takeover of the Village Porch as Jeremy's going to spend some time behind the bar. Slugging, he's definitely going to be slugging them.
You can't do that in this here state, which means that's probably not going to last for a real long time.
Slinging drinks is what I meant to say. He's going to have mullet makers. They're like boiler makers, but they're redneckier. So you got a domestic light
like me
with a fireball shot to go along with it. Obviously, your favorite libations as well going to be available at the Village Porch on Sunday. There'll be food specials as well. And, of course, we'll have some door prizes to be given away throughout the festivities of the big game. This Philadelphia Eagles defense, I think, is the unit that we're going to be looking back on Monday going, they were just too much.
And I've heard the Hassan Reddick thing of, well, he's so good. I got that. You do realize that if you start sending extra blitzers, historically, that's been how Pat Mahomes has killed you. And if you think you're getting home with 4, I got a bridge to sell you. But Andrew Wiley, you do get that Travis Kelce chip blocks more than any tight end in this league, right? Like, there's physically not one in the league that does that more often. Jerick McKinnon, not a bad pass blocker. Can you tell you he's the best pass-blocking running back in the league?
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the better all-around running backs in the league. It's not like, well, we're just going to come out in 5 wides and hope for the best. That's not how this is going to go.
Of course it's not.
But that's how people seem to be making it. of, this front four is so good, they'll get home. No, they won't. No, they won't. If you're telling me right now you're not going to be sending, whether it's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, linebackers, safety, you better have something exotic concocted.
And I think they do. I mean, I think Jonathan Gannon is going to have just a mixed bag of different look, because that's what Tampa Bay did. The offensive line is different.
You
we
keep
know that.
coming back to a game that's completely irrelevant to what we're talking about.
Do
you realize how long ago that was?
I get it was 2 years ago. I get it. I'm not saying it's the same, but if you don't think that scheme has been looked at and gone, yeah, we need to try to do some of the same things, then I can't help you there. They're obviously looking back on that.
If that's what they're trying to do, then that's the dumbest coaching staff on the planet. Because there is a lineman on this team that is still there from that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different. Completely different. Because what Tampa Bay did was get in his face.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing that now. I hate to break it to you. Nobody's done it all year long. There is not a trio of interior linemen in this league that has given up fewer pressures than Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, and Joe Tooney.
Agreed. But there's not a tandem of tackles that have given up more pressures than Orlando Brown and Andrew Wiley.
But think about that. Of course they have, because you can't do anything else. I mean, you could funnel 7 guys at the interior. Of course they've given up more.
Mm-hmm. And
Orlando Brown's still graded really well. It's just, I keep hearing this, like, well, they're weak at right tackle, so we'll just keep sending blitzers over there. Okay, I say this game is really simple when you make it that way. It ain't that simple. Okay, that's their weakest player, so we'll just send pass rushers over there. Wow, you know what? Bill Belichick should have thought of that. Sean McDermott should have thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
Zack Taylor and Lou Anarumo should have thought of that. Oh, weird. This is one of the most agile quarterbacks in the league. Does a great job. Just a top 5-ish of all time at stepping up in the pocket, and I've got as good as I could ever want on the interior.
Mm-hmm. And that's great. But there are advantages. There are advantages to having Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham and Hassan Reddick. And you've got all of these guys that you can send after Patrick Mahomes and make him uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. So the Buffalo Bills.
I think they're going to do it.
So the San Francisco 49ers. It's a mind-boggling thought to me of, wow, Philadelphia is just, it's like playing in the Super Bowl, and everything else that they've ever done is just playing JV. They hadn't seen one pass rush all year. Pat Mahomes hadn't been sacked more than 4 times in any one game all year long.
Mm-hmm.
I bet JV squads. It's been playing against JV. That's fine. Frankly, the more I talk this out, the more convinced I am that this is. I think you've got it in your head that I think this is going to be 58-3 because I've made enough jokes.
Said it, yeah.
It's called a joke. Blowout in the NFL is 10 points. I think Kansas City will have this comfortable for 3 quarters.
Really?
I do. I think they're going to score early. I have a weird feeling that they're going to bait Jalen Hurts into something because I see enough on tape with Jalen Hurts to go, okay, you better not do that.
Mm-hmm.
He turns it over early, and then you're just chasing for 4 quarters, and that is not Philadelphia's game. And I keep coming back to the Nick Sirianni thing of every time there has been one sign of trouble, he has abandoned the running game like it was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, they will kill you.
I agree. You cannot get away from the game plan. The game plan has to be on defense. You know, you need your back half, obviously, to play as solid as they played all year long. You need your front half to get as much pressure as possible to make him uncomfortable. And then on the offense, to me, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's just dink and dunk, chunk yards down the field, and just bleed it out. And I think they'll be able to do it.
Monday's going to be fun. Andrew right here said you can't compare the Bills and Eagles D. Healthy, I can. Healthy, I 100% can because you don't have a Von Miller. Straight up, you don't.
Mm-hmm. And
they lost to Buffalo, and that's not why. I don't know. I've been on the same path of this the entire time, and it turns you into, you're an Eagles hater. No, this has not changed from week 5 for me. If you remember, we're the same two idiots that told you that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to go 15-2 in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Not one bit of this has surprised me. Now, I'm a little surprised they're here because I thought Jalen Hurts would get them eventually, but when you don't play anybody that can score, okay, that's not going to get you. I'm not going to say it stunned me.
Yeah.
But this is, I feel like the people, and maybe it's because I'm in betting circles with people that are really going heavy on this.
Mm-hmm.
None of the rationale makes any sense to me. It would be one thing if you were giving me Jalen Hurts is going to go right at Spagnuolo. He loves to play bend, don't break. They're going to get in the red zone, and then you know what? They'll do the same thing they did to San Francisco, which is just make you bend to their will.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scenario that I can look at and go, you know what? You could be totally right. If they win this game, that's how they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
What I keep hearing is, well, you're going to run it like 46 against Pat Mahomes. If that's your game plan, you are in trouble bad. But nobody gives me that.
Mm-hmm.
Not one Eagle fan that I've talked to so far has given me a rational game plan. Because you cannot get past the 3 things I'm getting ready to say. Andy Reid is the better of these two coaches, and it's not even close.
Agreed.
Andy Reid is the one that I have, in the last 10 years, never seen get completely taken off his game plan. I saw Tampa Bay in that game you keep referencing, which was like 4 eons ago, beat him out of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he stuck to the game plan. He stuck to the game plan. The only problem is that Jimmy's and Joe's, I couldn't beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now Jimmy's and Joe's is I get the best quarterback in the NFL, and it's close-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
I get the most dangerous weapon in the NFL, and your argument to me is, well, we're just going to bleed the clock on them. Awesome. That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if Jalen Hurts comes out here and shuts me up, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've seen him talk 3 times this week, and he's got a little swagger to him that I'm not going to lie to you, I like.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I don't think he has the arm to back it up.
I think he does. I think he's got the arm to back it up, but he's not the slinger. He's not the gunslinger. He's not going to go out there and he's not going to try to throw it 38 times.
You better be.
Yeah, see, I disagree.
Because that's the only way to take advantage of him. That is this is the definition of what has kept Kansas City in these games year after year after year. Because if you cannot shoot out with me, which, by the way, is how Tampa Bay beat them because the defense couldn't stop them. They lived on the field.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot keep that defense on the field, you're doomed. Nick Bolton's one of the best linebackers in the league. If you think you're going to send Miles Sanders at him repeatedly and it's going to look like what you saw in the second half against San Francisco 2 weeks ago, you are out of your mind. If you think anybody is going to slow down Chris Jones, you are out of your mind.
Really?
Has anybody done it yet? Is this the first good guard he's seen all year?
No.
Because he does play every spot on that line.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time Andy Reid sees, I see a hiccup in that protection, he'll do it until you stop it. And then when you contour to whatever it is, he'll just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So the best in-game adjustment coach maybe in NFL history. That's entirely possible. And you're giving me Nick Sirianni and the run game. I'm going to tell you, you couldn't be right. I really struggle to see it.
Well, there's a whole lot of teams that have found out this year just how that dominant running game can be effective. And I get nobody's the caliber of the Kansas City Chiefs. Them defenses are. The defenses that they faced are the caliber of the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And see, somebody asked in the YouTube comments, I wanted to give credit. Satisfied Browns fans. Will Kansas City be able to stop the run, though? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to shut them down and do that thing.
Multiple ways for them to do it.
They're going to have to make Jalen Hurts throw. Mm-hmm. I know that.
Offensively, I can do that really easily.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what irritates me when we get into breaking down games of, well, is that front four going to be able to stop him? I don't really care. You want me to be 100% honest? I don't 100% care. Because I can mitigate every bit of this with my offense. I get up on you by 2 scores. I don't care how many times you run it. Mm-hmm. I don't care because you're going to have to stop me twice, and I don't think you can do it. That's not a shot at the defense. Nobody's done it all year long. Mm-hmm. We kept talking about this, and the only games that anybody can give me is a terrible Indianapolis team that they sleptwalk through. A Houston Texans game that I'm pretty sure they thought they would put on a helmet, and that would be enough. And a Buffalo team that was completely healthy, and I'll be honest, it's the only team I've seen play them that was better than them. So the only reason Kansas City's here, because Buffalo was not healthy at the end of the year, and neither was Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. But those were the 3 best teams in the league. We said it if every time we did power rankings, those 3 were in the top 3 6 times. And yet somehow, because we've watched Philadelphia just boat race 2 teams that were absolutely slaughtered, that's changed something. I cannot wrap my brain around that.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Winter storm watch Saturday night and Sunday. Stay tuned for some wild weather swings this weekend. Cold rain kicks in tomorrow night, and then we'll follow that up with some snow Sunday morning. 38 degrees our low tonight with a cloudy sky. Saturday cloudy, high 51 degrees. Rain comes in Saturday night, 35, going over to snow quickly in the mountains and all the way down to the valley floor Sunday morning with a winter storm watch. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore, the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road, traffic is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse of Asheville.
Save up to 70% at the Sleep Better Tonight sale, going on now at Mattress Warehouse. Come in today and sleep better tonight, knowing you got the best mattress at the best possible price with 0% interest financing. Only at Mattress Warehouse.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. When dining out or shopping at the grocery store, ask for sustainable seafood. By choosing sustainable seafood, you can help reduce overfishing, bycatch, loss of top predators, illegal fishing, and other harmful environmental impacts. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Being a real estate agent isn't about listing houses. It's about connecting to people. I need to find new buyers every day, so I promote my listings using radio commercials from iHeartAdBuilder.com. Now every time I have an open house, it's a full house.
A custom radio ad from iHeartAdBuilder is the fast, affordable way to drive customers to your business. Put the power of radio to work for you. Get started now at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and it's time to get weird. Normally, we like to give you, really weird stories here, but I can't do this. So Fox, you dangled a carrot in front of my face, and now I'm upset because you've backtracked. So we don't do politics on this show.
Minus the aside one-liner.
The occasional one-liner here and there. But we like to take shots at both sides, and that's all fine.
Because they're funny.
But here's the thing. I got so excited today when I read that Fox will be saving us from the embarrassment that has been, for the last decade, the obligatory pregame presidential interview. They were not going to do one. And now, after the news broke and the story broke about it, apparently so many people have, for some reason, been upset that now Fox says they are. They are. They're going to do an interview with the president for the pregame.
Show of hands. I want you to raise your hand and say out loud that you were upset by that.
Right. Like, I'm trying to figure out who was upset by this, because when I saw the story that they weren't going to do one, I went, oh, thank God. And it has nothing to do with the person sitting in the office or whether or not they can carry on a conversation or even know where they're at. I don't care about any of that stuff. I have been against this since George Bush started doing it.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to it from any of them. Because, frankly, there is nothing that agitates me more than when people try to sports when they don't sports. Because that's how they sound when they do it. Now, the person who will be handed a microphone here, I can tell you what kind of tangent they're going to go on. They might just sit there and pet the cat. I don't know, and I don't care. I can guarantee you, the second I see a politician on that screen, Seacrest out.
Absolutely. Smoke break time.
100%.
It's heater time. We're going outside because we do not care. See, that's the thing that I hate about this. I get why the politicians do it, and I get why the TV networks want to do it. You want to get that out there. You want to get the news program out in front of all of this big audience and all of the things. But it's so completely unnecessary. Like, we're here for a reason. We're here for a game. We're here for not politics. There's a reason that we don't seek this out elsewhere.
Well, you have a lot of inventory before the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know who's watching any of it. I mean, I'm one of the biggest sports fanatics I know. I've never sat down and watched pregame at the Super Bowl. Because I don't care. What in the world are you going to tell me that I haven't already heard for 2 weeks? Nothing. And I don't need to hear from. You know what?
He's going to do it.
Oh,
good for you. Good for you. Pass right on by it. Just be the bigger man.
Somebody who probably needs a nap and a diaper change. I tried. A boy from Michigan had a big appetite and apparently a rather formidable budget in Michigan late last week. This was on Saturday. Keith Stonehouse did that thing that a lot of people do. They give their phone to the child and let the child play games or whatever they do. I am not one of these people, and this is why. He gave the phone to his 6-year-old son, Mason. Mason sits on the couch, starts pushing buttons, doing whatever he's doing. Dad thinks he's playing a game. About an hour passes, and a car shows up. And then another car shows up. And then another car shows up. And another car shows up. And we did this for over an hour.
Okay.
Because Mason was playing a fun game of how much food can I order on Uber Eats, and it wound up being over $1,000.
Wow.
He said his exact quote was on the angry scale. I was a 9.5 out of 10, and I'm still not really to the point where I find it funny. Of course you're not. He did also impart that one point came along where Mason looked at him and said, "Did the pepperoni pizzas show up yet?" And that right there is where I'd have had to have gone outside and yelled at a squirrel.
Yes.
Like, you know what you did here because you just asked that question. And no. And apparently there will be no refund for this very large Uber Eats excursion.
It's dangerous. The Uber Eats thing is dangerous.
Handing your phone to children is dangerous.
100%. My wife does that all the time, and I have no idea why she does it. Like she'll start a fight in the house of why did you guys download this thing on my phone? Why did you give it to them in the first place?
Yes.
Don't do that.
You know who plays on my phone?
You.
I do. If you want to play on the phone, get your own.
It's like, why don't you guys ever use Dad's phone? Because Dad won't let us have the phone. Bingo.
Because Dad's answer was a big resounding no.
No, not going to happen. Because that's how you end up buying 4 million Fortnite tokens or whatever the hell, V-Bucks on my phone. Not going to happen.
Don't play Fortnite on a phone. Play it on a console.
No, I'm saying they would download the gift certificate or something on my phone.
Who's shocked? I'm a grown man that plays video games.
Yeah.
Show of hands? Oh, the same people that wanted to see Joe Biden's pregame at the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Whole bunch of none of you.
Nobody. Last night was a big night for the NFL. It was awards night. And no team, no fan base had a better night.
Than the Jets, Jets.
Yeah, I still feel like it's a little close, but I got to give Jeremy his due. I mean,
we got 2 Hall of
cleaned
Famers
up.
and 2 Rookies of the Year. Yep, that we win. End of message. Repeat the line. Which don't be shocked if you hear that at Joe Biden's pre. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. All right, I'm done. It was fun. 3's enough.
Right. First off with the awards, Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to
Garrett Wilson.
Defensive Rookie of the Year,
Sauce Gardner.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I went back.
Second team in the modern era of the NFL to ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
The other was the 2017 New Orleans Saints.
I felt like that. I mean, there were a lot of awards that were pretty evident of who was going to win them. In fact, I went back to our daily draft where we picked the awards, and we got like 7 out of the awards in our selections.
And I think I got 5 of them.
I think you did.
Give it to somebody's Meemaw.
You did. I had Patrick Mahomes as the MVP. You had somebody's Meemaw, Brian Daboll, as the Coach of the Year. I had Geno Smith as the Comeback Player of the Year.
Which still makes me angry. That's okay. You have to come back from something to be the Comeback Player of the Year.
No, you don't.
You can't come back from being god-awful.
You can't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
I mean, I can call it a comeback because you were never here the first time. Trust me, I saw the first handful of years. It was never good.
It was never good. AP Offensive Player of the Year went to Justin Jefferson, which was a Jeremy Greene selection. And Defensive Player of the Year went to Nick Bosa. Neither of us picked Garrett Wilson to be the Offensive Player of the Year.
Or Offensive
Rookie of the Year.
I don't know that you're right.
You did not.
I got a list right there that says different. Because if I recall, you said Kenny Walker, and I went, he did miss games.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back and pull the tape on that, but I'm pretty sure.
It was not one of your official selections.
And the next person
the
that
one
tells me.
official selection that you had that you did not get correct was you picked Ben Johnson to be the Assistant of the Year. And D'Amico Ryans got it.
And, okay, I get it. I just don't have to like it. The next person that tells me Chris Olave was robbed, I swear to you, blood is going to come out of my ears.
He wasn't robbed.
Garrett Wilson was 15th in the league in receiving yards, and he had 4 quarterbacks.
Right.
4
of them.
it was the right call.
Absolutely.
It was always the right call.
Absolutely.
Chris Olave was close, but can we stop with the robbed? Robbed is what Saquon Barkley was, okay?
Dak Prescott got Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. The FedEx Air and Ground players were Joe Burrow and Josh Jacobs. And then he had a whole bunch of ancillary other awards. The Angry Run of the Year. I did appreciate that award going to the beast that is Dameon Pierce. And then it was the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame paid off for both Jeremy and me. We'll talk about that coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. An accident reported future 26 eastbound near Riverside Drive. Not seeing any delays at the moment here. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road moving well. Smoky Park Highway northbound, approaching Sand Hill Road slow. Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road in North Asheville slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse of Asheville.
Save up to 70% at the Sleep Better Tonight sale, going on now at Mattress Warehouse. Come in today and sleep better tonight, knowing you got the best mattress at the best possible price with 0% interest financing. Only at Mattress Warehouse.
This week at Macy's, find Valentine's Day gifts for all your loves, like fragrance gift sets they'll adore. Plus, take an extra 15% off with your coupon or Macy's card, on top of beautiful jewelry finds, now 35 to 70% off, and 25% off decadent chocolate from Godiva. Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift card services and fees. More at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Live from Radio Row, it's Super Bowl week, and there's no better way to stay up to speed than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for the latest football news with just a touch of mirth.
We've got the #1 football podcast in the world, and Rihanna is playing the Apple Music halftime show. It doesn't get much better than that, guys.
Hang out with us live from Glendale, Arizona, all week long. Listen to Around the NFL on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Ingles 2023 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 4th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Peck Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about goofier than a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
All right, back in the YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Also back here on the iHeartRadio app and 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. And we got a couple of super chats here from Gage Camplin.
Ooh.
Yeah. You got to connect that to make that work.
It's just been one of those days.
I'm your huckleberry.
Yeah.
It is.
Gage Camplin says, Eagles O-line will be the reason if the Eagles win this game.
I can agree with that because you're going to have to be able to force your will on Chris Jones, who is probably the best interior lineman in the league. And you're going to have to –
He's not Aaron Donald.
He was this year. In any statistical category that you want to measure. That's kind of what I'm saying, is he's been that impactful all year because they have multiple guys on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing that people keep saying about Philadelphia applies to Kansas City.
Well, I mean, Philly –
and both offensive lines are good. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they're not. I would argue it's the two best in the league, and I'm not sure it's all that close.
Great point was brought up by Philly Cheesesteak. Said, I'm struggling to see why you think Chris Jones will go off because no one has stopped him, but no one has put on a clinic against this offensive line. The Eagles have played great defensive linemen, too. Bosa, Parsons, the Giants, the Commanders, Cam Jordan, Jeffrey Simmons, Watt brothers.
You lost me at the Giants there. That's a really young, real young team. The Commanders. Am I the only one that remembers the first time you two played? Did we forget that? Because that didn't quite go your way. Bosa, he's there by himself. I mean, because look, by the time any of that really mattered, that defense was looking at this going, it doesn't matter if we stop them 50 times. We're never going to score. Mm-hmm. And Micah Parsons is literally the only player on that defense. Him and DeMarcus Lawrence. In the message, repeat the line.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody on the interior that scares you. And I guess that's what I'm saying is that we fixate so much on Chris Jones that it almost becomes like nobody else on that line matters. They have a ton of edge rushers, and none of them play a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be fresh. And here's the other part. I'm not so sure that I care. All right, let's say Jalen Hurts doesn't get sacked but one time. Okay. Do I really think that even with 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket that all of a sudden he's going to turn into, the quarterback on the other side? No. I'm not saying Chris Jones is just going to eat your lunchbox for 4 quarters. That's not it. It's the coverage of this has seemed to be very one-sided to me. And it seems to me that a lot of people are not really entertaining the idea of, well, this could not go the way of the team that's played the worst schedule possibly in NFL history. Maybe we're over exaggerating that when they played in the tougher of the two conferences. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Gage had another one of these.
I'm your huckleberry.
Super Bowl games where the spread switches teams. The favorite is 16-2. Thoughts? Yeah, that's called public narrative, where when the stupid money comes through, and it always does, Vegas will start to mitigate it. They haven't mitigated this.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia's been a 1.5-point favorite from the jump. It moved at 1 point early on. The consensus went from 1 to 1.5, back to 1, back to 1.5. It's never been Kansas City. Now, it was in some books,
mm-hmm.
but the Vegas consensus has been Philadelphia every time I've seen it, and it's everyone on my screen.
It didn't open as a Kansas City lean?
Not anywhere I've seen.
Okay.
And now you understand I'm talking about the consensus. So
right.
You can bring me a DraftKings or a Caesars or sure, maybe they had it that way.
I feel like at some point somebody surely had it listed as Kansas City was the favorite to start out. But I don't know. I don't pay attention. So I don't know what the line movement is.
I'm going to double check this a third time just to be sure.
But I think, to me, it's weird because I feel like both of these teams are underdogs in some respect. There are so many people that are on the Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid are just so good. Travis Kelce thrown in there as well, of course. But they're discounting all of the things that Philadelphia can do. Meanwhile, there are others of us who feel like Philadelphia has been the more dominant team, especially in these playoffs. And there are people that believe that it's just a foregone conclusion and that Patrick Mahomes is actually an underdog. I don't feel like either of these teams should be underdogs, but they can both play the role in this scenario. It has kind of baffled me how much the public is on Philadelphia. Has it not you?
That's been one of the things that's bothered me the most. By the way, I just checked the 11 biggest sports books in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia has never been a dog at any point on any of them.
Okay.
From FanDuel, DraftKings, BetUs, all the way down to PointsBet. They've never been a dog, not for 1 second.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I'm most leaning on. Now, what I see with my eyes is what I've said for 2 weeks. But then there's the response. How many times a year do I have to come in here and say, man, weird how Vegas had that tabbed exactly right? 2.5 point spread. They win by 2.
Mm-hmm.
They are good at this. Philadelphia, where all the heaviest money is, they started it at either 1.5, 2, or 2.5. Every major sports book, that's where they started.
Mm-hmm.
Every metric I've seen says more of the money's on Philadelphia. Then why did this number come down a point? There's only one reason for it. Because Vegas would look around and go, uh-oh. If the smart money late comes through because we move that number, we're going to get demolished. And you can track it more in the Super Bowl than you can track it anywhere else. That's just, for me, that's like the little cherry on top of, okay, we're good. We're going that way.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It is the last Football Friday, and we'll have the daily draft coming up after the Sports Center update in just a moment.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Winter Storm Watch Saturday night and Sunday. Stay tuned for some wild weather swings this weekend. Cold rain kicks in tomorrow night, and then we'll follow that up with some snow Sunday morning. 38 degrees our low tonight with a cloudy sky. Saturday cloudy, high 51 degrees. Rain comes in Saturday night, 35, going over to snow quickly in the mountains and all the way down to the valley floor Sunday morning with a winter storm watch. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. An accident reported future 26 eastbound near Riverside Drive. Not seeing any delays at the moment here. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road moving well. Smoky Park Highway northbound, approaching Sand Hill Road slow. Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road in North Asheville slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Crispy Melt Taco is now at Taco Bell. It's a freshly fried shell with a melty cheese blend and your choice of seasoned beef or black beans inside. Try it today at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville. FRS247.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Legs damaged, which has pretty much cost him a lot of his ability to play. Tigers only played 9 rounds of golf, and it's all been in major tournaments. Next week, he'll tee it up in the Genesis Invitational from Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles. The tournament benefits his foundation. It was after this tournament 2 years ago when Tiger got into that car accident. Tiger tweeting, "I'm ready to play an actual PGA Tour event." That's next weekend. Right now, they're in the second round of the Waste Management Open, available on ESPN+. And Scotty Scheffler has got it to 9 under par. He's 6 under for the round, playing the 18th hole. Scheffler leads John Rahm by 1 and Jason Day by 3. The Kansas City Chiefs fully healthy. On the final injury report, they get set for Super Bowl number 57 coming up on Sunday. Chiefs 1.5-point dogs to the Philadelphia Eagles. No Luka Doncic tonight. Mavericks are in Sacramento.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Greene. That's Greene. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 in the Sportsocracy, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. We are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube every time we're live here in the Ingles Studio. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that will let you join us in the chat. And for the last Football Friday, we gotta, we've done matchups and we've done MVPs and we've done all of those things, but it's time to really talk about the one thing that everybody's in this Super Bowl gig for.
Frankly, I'm so tired of talking about these two teams that their names have lost all meaning to me. At this point, I'm not even talking about anything that I care about. I've said Pat Mahomes' name like 78 times in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I despise the week off between the Super Bowl. Do you care more or less right now than you did a week ago?
Yeah, it's the same for me.
See, to me, it's drastically less. I've talked about this so much that I don't care. Just get and I'm the more dogmatic of the two of us. So if Philadelphia wins, my Monday, not going to be great.
No, it's
not going to be great. My Twitter's going to, you know what? I might just give it to Jake and let Jake handle it. Like, here, Jake. Jake's our new friend that we will introduce you to later here in the off season.
Yeah, we're getting an intern.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
And he's smarter than both of us. It's not really all that close. But you're right. There is one thing that is really just absolutely driving me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that I get to just domestic light it up. 41 North Merriman Avenue at the Village Porch, baby.
All right, join us out there if you're not doing your own Super Bowl thing. And if you are, just cancel it and bring everybody down to the Village Porch.
Bingo.
There will be.
And if you're an Eagles fan, you can sit there and yell obscenities at me. Trust me, by the time this game kicks off, I don't care.
We'll have all of the drink specials, food specials. There'll be door prizes given away at the Sportsocracy bar takeover for the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue on Sunday afternoon. Kickoff at 6:30. You want to get there early so you get a good spot.
Potentially with us. And this is a full boat for us because not only do you get me, not only do you get Tank Spencer, you get Brian Haynes and HWA as well.
Yes. Stephen Tao has already committed that he's going to be in the house with us. We invite all of our members of the House of Reprehensibles, all of the members of the Sportsocracy family, YouTube subscribers. If you can physically be with us, be with us. My wife will also be making an appearance, I think, down there. She's not... She's going to be as festive as possible. She's a little upset that the Super Bowl falls on her birthday this year, but we're going to try to celebrate that along with digging the game.
That's the reason that I'll go full Sheldon Cooper and say I was born on the perfect day. My birthday is the perfect date to have been born on.
The day before St. Patrick's Day?
Immediate reason to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And if by some chance it falls on like a Sunday, which is not necessarily party day, you do it on Monday for St. Patrick's Day. Let's go. Let's go.
But we'd like to turn the sportsocracy every now and then into the foodocracy. And today's daily draft is going to be a foodocracy question. As always, what is the go-to Super Bowl menu? The foods that you have to have for the Super Bowl party. And who goes first?
I'm going to let you go first because I know what you're going to take, and I don't care.
Well, I mean, there is the one food that you have to have at every football party.
And I swear, I think I know where you're headed with this. You lose me at Super Bowl party, and there's one very specific reason why.
It's chicken wings.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
It doesn't matter the flavor. It doesn't matter really how they're prepared. Chicken wings are a staple. You can go full on, traditional buffalo style. You can go all the different.
Buffalo's the right way. There's no, if you don't, okay. Wing, buffalo wing. There's a reason they're called that. Don't barbecue sauce. That's cute. Put that on a boneless wing.
Well, I didn't say buffalo wings. I said chicken wings.
That's a chicken nugget thing. You go boneless wing, dunk it in barbecue. It's delicious. It's fine. If it's on the bone, buffalo. Hot.
Breaded or non-breaded?
Don't care. Prefer breaded. Doesn't really matter.
See, I'm the complete opposite. It's, obviously I will eat the breaded, but much prefer the naked wings with whatever sauce of your choosing. But there is no way to get that wrong. Like, if your menu does not have chicken wings on it, you did it wrong.
Oh, garlic parmesan. That's how you get it wrong. Because that's gross.
That's not gross.
That's two things that I don't like nearly as much as everybody else.
That's not gross. Plus, your wife would be ticked if you didn't have those on the menu.
She's come up with a lot of different incarnations of that to get away. Because I don't like garlic. And the more life goes on, the less I like it. It used to be, people just overuse it. Now it's, all right, it smells bad. It's not good. It's just, okay, stop. I get it. Here's my problem with the wing at the Super Bowl party.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have seats. And maybe I've been to too many Super Bowl parties where there were way too many people. It is damn near impossible to eat a chicken wing while standing up. And a ramekin, okay? You can get 1,000 of them for like $4 at your local Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. That's a new record for me. Let's go. I need a sauce container because you know what I don't want? Ranch on every other thing on my plate. I'm a huge wing guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay that I'm okay. It's okay.
What? Not to have them?
Not to, for me to not have them in this draft. I mean, I want them in the Super Bowl party. Obviously, I will have them at the Village Porch because theirs are awesome. Mm-hmm. Theirs are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily know that that's the number one thing that I need. Because now I'm going to have something that you're not, and it's really simple.
Okay.
Beer! I need a domestic light, or 46 of them. That's the most important food group at the Super Bowl. Because, frankly, if you're a football fan, this is a game that will last from 6 o'clock. That's when all the fun little pregame festivities start. And I'm not talking about, what do you think is going to happen at 11 a.m.? If you're watching that, you are a masochist. And that is the only way I can figure out why anybody would do that.
Right.
This game will last from 6 o'clock until at least 11 o'clock before you hand out a trophy. That's 2 hours longer than a normal football game, which gets so tedious to me. I hate the halftime show, other than last year. I'm going to hate it this year. I heard Rihanna say that she's gone through 18 iterations of her set list.
No, I think it was 89.
Was it 80?
It was 89.
Oh, maybe I just saw 8 and went, that's too many.
Yeah.
That's too many numbers. That math don't math, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I need something to libate myself through this, and frankly, anything that gets out of the vein of domestic light is wrong to me. You go IPA, bad, because now I'm going to forget how the game ends. I don't want to do that.
He's got to have that. He's got to have the Zack Thomas of alcoholic beverages. It is just the consistent go-to. It is always going to fill that slot.
100%. That's exactly where we're supposed to be. Domestic lights are awesome. One of these days, probably in the off season, I'm going to figure out what the perfect domestic light is. But we'll tell you more about that later in the off season.
Yeah.
I had somebody ask me the other day, what do you actually drink? I can genuinely tell you, I don't know. I walk into the Village porch, and the first words out of their mouth, thanks, seen them do it.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic light? Yep.
Whatever's on tap. Doesn't matter.
Don't care. But I feel like there's a best one out there somewhere, and I'm going to find it. Lisa Evansville asked, why do I hate Rihanna? I don't hate Rihanna. I just don't care. I don't need a 17-minute pop-up concert in the middle of at halftime.
Of course you do.
Just get back to the game. I've been waiting on this for 2 weeks. How many more things do I need to delay the actual gratification of knowing who wins?
Uh-huh.
I've been doing this for 5 months. I don't need more delays. All right, now we're getting into actual food.
Okay.
Because frankly, if your most important food group is domestic lights, you're going to need some carbs. And that's why mine's pizza.
Okay.
And I'm not going to lie, and I want a ruling here. It's not going to change my answer, but it's going to make me less happy. Do I get to include pizza rolls in pizza?
Yes.
Huzzah! You said that in the break of, man, why do so many people eat pizza rolls at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Because they're awesome. Because they're like they're like the perfect amalgamation of a handful of awesome things.
Mm-hmm.
Bread, awesome. Pizza, awesome. Little fluffy pocket of happiness that you can just skadoosh down in ranch.
Right.
Let's go.
I think if we had an economic breakdown at our fingertips, your local Ingles store, low prices, love the savings, will sell more Totino's pizza rolls in the next 3 days than they will the entire year. It's secret time. I could do without it. I don't need them. I don't like pizza rolls. They're fine.
What?
I mean,
what did
okay,
you
when
just
I say
say?
I don't like them, I mean they're not like one of my favorite things on the
You
planet.
once weighed the same amount as a Geo Metro, and you just looked me dead in the face and said you didn't like Totino's pizza rolls?
Again, they're fine. I just don't have to have them. And pizza to me is not a Super Bowl party necessity.
Oh, it's 100%. I love pizza so much.
Mm-hmm.
I make a pizza dip. It's one of the only, like, if I'm, for whatever reason, not going to the Village porch, which of course I will be, but if I wasn't, I make a pizza dip that is basically just frozen Pillsbury biscuits that are rolled into a little crust.
That's good.
And you just drop cheese and pepperoni and pizza sauce and.
Hold on.
It's
Frankie Cleary's about to blow your mind. Wrap them in bacon.
I make them from scratch. Let's go.
Homemade pizza rolls wrapped in bacon.
Well, see, and for me, this is a little biased because I get heartburn. I hear the word bacon, and I already have heartburn.
I had not thought of that. Jeremy's got gastro issues that you don't even want to know about.
I'm gonna throw a few words out here. You do with it what you want. Homemade Hawaiian pizza roll.
There you go.
So good.
Sounds good. Sounds really good. Pizza, it's obviously a great, a great staple of American fare. But it's not a necessity for me at a Super Bowl party. So I'm not upset that you took pizza. So I went chicken wings with my number one pick.
It's a formidable solution.
Well, of course it is. The second has to be. It's something Southwest themed, but is it like I don't know how to categorize this. Do I go dip or nachos, or is it all into one?
It's a dip and nachos is certainly not one.
No, I'm talking like a nacho dip. Like you got the 7-layer dip with all of the Mexican.
No, that's its own.
fare
That's its own independent
in it.
dip.
Okay, so I will go taco dip then.
That's the
whatever
right call.
you call it, 7-layer dip, whatever you want to call it. It's got to be. I that is one of my all-time favorite things. You got the ground beef and the cheese and the refried beans and the guacamole and the sour cream and all
How
of the
does
things
one
that you put on
refry a
nacho.
bean? I've never understood that.
I have no idea.
Does
but
anybody actually know? Is there like one guy that's the refried bean guy? I've asked this question a lot, and nobody's ever given me an answer. So, like, what do you do with it?
And I've also
do you just mush it? Like, is it? Well, then why do we not call them mushed beans?
I can't answer that for you. I've never understood that myself. But something about, and I don't like it by itself.
No.
Like refried beans, god awful. Don't just hand me a plate of refried beans and go, here, you can have this. I will throw that in the trash can.
I will spackle a wall with it because that's what it's actually used for.
Now, you want to mix it with all those other things that I just said, some jalapenos and maybe some habaneros and stuff like that on top of it. I am all the way in. You have got to have the chips and the nacho dip or taco dip, whatever you want to call it, at the Super Bowl party. It's an absolute must. And since you took beer, I got to take liquor. I got to have alcoholic beverages of some kind. And as I have stated many, many times on this program and in our relationship, you are the yin, I am the yang. You go to, I go fro. I am not a fan of beer and have not been a fan of beer my entire life. I much rather have a nice cocktail. You give me some Cuba Libres and some 7-7s and all the way in.
Yeah. You have too many additives to your libations. I want a beer-flavored beer.
And then if the game's really not going my way, so say the Kansas City Chiefs are up by 30 in the third quarter, like Jeremy says they're going to be, and I'd realize that my Monday is not going to go the way I want it to because it's just going to be insufferable. Jeremy Greene.
I already have an outfit laid out, just so we know.
I can just go straight whiskey on the rocks and be just let's go, boys. It's time to go all in. So I'm going liquor with my third choice. Best Super Bowl party menu, daily draft, last football Friday of the season. We'll continue it up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing near Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound approaching Chimney Rock Road. Delays. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips, whatever you need. There's something that fits your vehicle: air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
For my small bookstore to thrive, I can't just sell books. So I created a radio ad at iHeartAdBuilder.com to tell everyone about our author events, our story hours for kids, and our amazing lattes. Now we're busier than ever. I'd call that a success story.
A custom radio ad from iHeartAdBuilder is the fast, affordable way to drive customers to your business. Put the power of radio to work for you. Get started now at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. October is Energy Awareness Month and a good time to assess your home to make sure you're ready for the season's cooler temperatures. Keep your window shades open on sun-facing windows during the day to get free solar heat, and close them after dark to add a little extra insulation. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
Yes, Chef! At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day!
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
The Daily Draft on a football Friday, the last of the season. So sad. So sad.
It's all right. We're not done with football.
No, absolutely not.
That
We got
just means
draft this season.
Oh, yeah. When we come back from our little hiatus, we will be here for the 3 days directly after the Super Bowl. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we're taking a 4-day break, and we're coming back with all the draftmas, the offseason. You've told us you don't care about the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Will we talk about it when the playoffs come around? Absolutely. Sure. Will we have some fun with March Madness? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
College basketball conference tournaments, that's fun. It's fun.
Speaking of college conference tournaments, we are going to be live, by the way, down at the Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships, 2023 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championships at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, March 2nd through the 6th. We will be there on Friday afternoon, right before the tip-off of the men's 8 and 9 game. And we encourage everybody to come down and see us. We'll be doing the show live from the concourse there at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville. And you'll hear more about that coming up after the Super Bowl. We will be at the Super Bowl party at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. And today's Daily Draft rolls on here as the number 1 pick overall. I mean, it's foregone conclusion. It's got to be chicken wings. You have to. If football's on the television, I need chicken wings going in my face. That was my number 1 pick. Jeremy went with beer because who's shocked? Of course, it's all about the domestic lights for him. Followed that up with pizza.
Oh, I love pizza.
And then I chose taco dip and liquor. I've always been also about the taco dip thing. Have you ever been to a Super Bowl party where somebody did that that thing that you see on all the the memes and the Pinterest and where they make like the stadium out of the taco dip? Have you seen those?
I wouldn't know.
What?
I don't really look at your presentation. I look at the food and go, does it fit on my plate? Yes or
I've just always admired the people that get creative with the taco dip, setting up the stands with the chips and all that kind of stuff. Like it just I'm in all of that. But taco dip and liquor had to be next for me. So Jeremy, you've got back-to-back picks here. How are you going to improve on your Super Bowl party haul?
Oh, it's going meatball. I got to have a meatball. I don't really care what sauce you put on it, but barbecue meatball's always a formidable choice. Just a big old block of meat.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other, and I'm split on this. Of do I go the pig in a blanket?
Yeah, okay.
Or do I go the crock pot of the cocktail weenie?
Mmm. Okay.
Or do I just corner the tiny little sausage market? Don't
That's
laugh.
what she said.
Yeah, I knew. You're 6. You're 6 years old.
I can't help it.
I walked you into it, and there you went.
I can't help. I mean, you're the one that started these two picks with balls, and then you're going to go, okay, whatever.
At Sports Take ESPN.
I don't know. Which way do you want to go here? Going the pig in the blanket or the cocktail weenie?
Stephen Tao says they're all the same.
I mean, I'll let you have both if you want.
There it is.
All right.
I'm going the tiny sausage route.
Mm-hmm. So
Feel free to put your jokes in the chat.
All of the meats.
Because apparently we're all 6.
Yes, we are. We are men. We love football too much, and we spend our extra time talking about it. So, yeah, we're pretty much 6. Speaking of, hey, have you checked out my shoes? They make me run fast. Thanks again to Generations for sending us the retro Air Jordans. I'm wearing my Tampa Bay Buccaneers themed Air Jordan Retro 3s because I don't know any other way to live now.
I have already started the process of convincing Amy to let me wear mine at our wedding.
That's going to happen. That's
with the full jet green tux.
I don't know about that, but it's going to happen. I have my ways. If she's not convinced yet, she will be by the end of the Super Bowl on Sunday. All right, my last 2 picks. When you're throwing a Super Bowl party, to me, it's not an absolute necessity, but it adds something to the party if you are going to do foods that represent the teams that are playing in the games. So, what? Just follow me down the path here. If I'm having a Super Bowl party this year, the 2 things I have to have:
barbecue and Philly cheesesteak.
Bingo. It's the last 2 picks. Philly cheesesteaks, however you want to do it. Philly cheesesteak like sliders on the Hawaiian buns. You get the shaved ribeyes with the onions and the peppers and the mushrooms and all of the things. Yeah. It's going Philly cheesesteaks. And then I think ribs. Ribs has to be the representative of Kansas City. Barbecue spare ribs.
Well, I didn't think I was going to have to do this, but you actually took a handful of mine for one of the first times ever. So I'm going to go the old staple. There's a lot of different ways you can consume this. You can have a bowl. You can have it as a dip with your Frito chips. It's chili. It's chili cook-off day. Make you up a big old pot, make it real hot, and it's a staple of Super Bowl day. That's what I will be having before I come to the Village Porch.
Mm-hmm.
Big old pot of chili.
All right. Solid choices all around. You can decide the winner in the chat if you would like. I went with chicken wings, taco dip, liquor, Philly cheesesteaks, and Casey ribs. Jeremy goes beer, pizza, meatballs, wieners of some kind,
tiny sausages,
and
child,
and chili.
I think we both represented quite nicely there.
We did. What did we miss? Fire it away in the comments. We will bring those up after the break. Also, we got to spend some time talking about the Hall of Fame.
I'm also just mystified that our listening audience is apparently 2-1 flats over drums.
Yes.
I will never understand that. Why do you want to work more for the exact same thing?
It's not the exact same thing.
It's the exact same thing. It is bird that has been deep fried and rolled in a lovely sauce, and you get more meat on a drum than you do on a flat.
It depends on where the chickens came from.
I mean, if it's a velociraptor wing, the flat and the drum are both equally inflated.
I've always liked the flats better.
I don't dislike a flat. I'm just always shocked when flats is that much more popular.
Mm-hmm. Well, because you like convenience. And the drums are way more convenient.
Oh, no doubt.
But I always feel like there's more meat on the flats. And the interior meat between the bones, it's just so much more tender than the drums are. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It'll be time when we come back from the break for the most important message of the day. Plus, Jeremy and I get to celebrate something together, which doesn't really happen all that often.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Winter Storm Watch Saturday night and Sunday. Stay tuned for some wild weather swings this weekend. Cold rain kicks in tomorrow night, and then we'll follow that up with some snow Sunday morning. 38 degrees our low tonight with a cloudy sky. Saturday cloudy, high 51 degrees. Rain comes in Saturday night, 35, going over to snow quickly in the mountains and all the way down to the valley floor Sunday morning with a winter storm watch. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing near Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound approaching Chimney Rock Road. Delays. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Right now during Staples Sit-a-thon, select chairs are more than 50% off. Like the Leather Vortex Gaming Chair, now just $119.99. Offer ends 2/11 while supplies last. Staples, the working and learning and savings store.
Make 2023 the year that you change your life and you win that battle with your weight problem. It can happen for you. I mean, I've said this time and time again in my life. I'm going to do better this year. I'm going to lose the weight. 2022, that was the year for me. The PhD weight loss program helped me lose more than 90 pounds last year. PhD's the way to go.
Many people in the new year say, new year, new me. The only problem is that they use a lot of the same tendencies, which leads to new year, same you. Sometimes you need a little help, and that's what PhD gives you. They give you plenty of the food. They give you all the direction, all the guidance. If it works for a guy like me that was as lazy with my food choices as I was, it will work for you. PhD weight loss.
I lived all of my adult life around the 300-pound mark, and now I'm down around 200 pounds, and I feel infinitely better, as you can imagine. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. It's myphdweightloss.com.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is time for the most important message of the day, Sportsocracy fam.
Don't do crimes.
Yeah, that's right. Crime never pays. And
although mine might sound like it does. Mine is...
In the end, it's all going to come back to you.
Mine is if you're going to do a crime, this is both the place and the way to do so.
My story today comes to us from Michigan. Ypsilanti, Michigan, where a guy goes to the Taco Bell and, you know, as you do, he wanted some free stuff. And so he asks for a drink. And apparently they were like, okay, well, you have to give us monies for that. And he said, I don't think so. And so he points a gun at the woman through the window.
That's crimes. Don't do that.
Yeah. The manager of the store called police after she discovered the employee giving away free stuff out of the drive-through window because she said, I'm dealing with a guy with a gun in the car. Now, the guy, all he wanted was a soda. I feel like that's, Anyway, they call the sheriffs and they describe the car, and later on, police follow up. They pull him over, and there's some suspicious activity going on in the car. There's a man and a woman. The man's driving. He's the one that has been reported as to have the gun. And the woman is, at some point in the exchange with the officers, obviously it went through the regular rigmarole of, will you get out of the car? And then they, of course, like millennials, have to argue for 25 minutes about getting out of the car. And the woman is seen stuffing something into her pants, to which they say, what was that? What are you stuffing into your pants? She's like, it's just my weed. Oh, well, all right, there's that. Then they try to get her out of the car. She doesn't do it. More deputies show up, and then they spot the gun, which at that point, it turns into a whole thing of now you are being forcibly removed from the vehicle. There has been a gun. There has been weed. And oh, by the way, this guy is on probation. He's on probation for a gun offense, and he waved a gun at the Taco Bell window girl to get a free soda.
That's just a slew of stupid.
Yeah, it is. Both facing charges, obviously, at this point. Don't do crimes.
Sunday, we have one of the great sporting events in all of the land, the Super Bowl. And what comes with huge sporting events? Streakers. Been a lot of them over the years. It's a common practice. Don't do that. Disrupts the game. And if you do it on a football field, might end badly for you. Well, another event that is happening in Arizona right now at the same time as the Super Bowl is the Waste Management Phoenix Open. If you're new to the program, then you might not know that is the Jeremy Greene of golf tournaments, because there's a lot of mullets. There's a lot of consumption. People show up at 6 o'clock in the morning because there is a hole. It's called the Stadium Hole that has stands on each side, and it looks like a great big stadium that you play golf in. Well, today they had a streaker. And not only did they have a streaker, I'm pretty sure he's related to me somehow, and he paid homage to one of the great streakers of all time, which was the John Daly 19th hole streaker. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Man showed up at the 17th hole at the Phoenix Open. He was wearing a pair of sunglasses, a Speedo of sorts, a pair of sneakers, and a mullet. And he had 19th hole drawn on his back in paint. He ran onto the green on the 16th hole, at which time he proceeded to do a little bit of a, we'll call it a pole dance. That's what he did.
Okay. With the flag?
With flag.
Okay.
He then runs through the tunnel to the 17th hole and all the way down the 17th fairway. Because apparently the security people at the Phoenix Open were not prepared, which is mind-boggling to me because this is the most predictable story I think I've ever seen in my life. So he gets to the tee box on 17. Do you know what's right there? It's a big old pond. It's a big old pond with a... He sure did.
Nice.
He sure did. He jumped in the pond, took himself a couple laps, and then even proceeded to get up on the W of the Waste Management logo and do himself a little dance.
Yeah. Phoenix is hot. You got to cool off a little bit.
Well, the only problem is that once you jump in the pond, there's now no way to escape, so all they have to do is watch you, see where you swim, and they will detain you, which they did at the end of this. If you've never watched this event, I want you to think what one golf hole that could be conspired out of my mind would look like. And that is that hole. 16 at the Phoenix Open. I have seen several hole-in-ones here, and people just take full beers and chuck them out on the green. This is like the Florida Gators of football holes, the Jacksonville, Florida of golf holes.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy had, I must say, is one of the longest streaking events I have ever seen.
Lots of domestic lights involved in that.
Well, there is a video, and I'm not sure. The guy that I'm looking at in this video looks very similar to our streaker. And he was in line at 6 a.m. to get into this tournament this morning.
Wow.
The first group doesn't get to that hole until noon.
So they've been there for a while.
Yeah. I'm going to say there were a few domestic lights there.
Yeah, just a few. Last night, we found out the class of the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame. Very, very well-deserved honor for some of the greatest to ever play the game.
And Rondé Barber.
Oh, stop that. The senior committee put in Ken Riley and Chuck Howley. Don Coryell made it in as a coach and contributor. Your other inductees,
Joe Klecko was the senior.
I'm getting there,
but he was a senior.
I was gonna backtrack and reveal it when we talk about the things that we're happy about. Just give me a second. Joe Thomas, which we all knew. Joe Thomas was no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer. DeMarcus Ware gets in on his second ballot.
I'm still dumbfounded that took 2 shots.
It took 4 shots for Zack Thomas to get into the Hall of Fame.
He was a finalist 4 times. He's been on the ballot 10 times.
10 times. Okay. And then it was just adding on to the joy for Jeremy Greene. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Great day.
Darrelle Revis, which was a no-doubter. And then the senior committee.
If he hadn't gotten in, we would have rioted.
Oh, yeah. And then the senior committee also puts in Joe Klecko.
Which, I'll be honest with you, meant more to me than Darrelle Revis did.
Which is weird because you weren't even alive to watch him play.
No, but he's been there were a lot of things that went on with the New York Stock Exchange, and that being a really high watermark for being a Jets fan. And the fact that he's never made it in has always bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to get Mark Gastineau in. I mean, the guy did have the sack record for, 20 years. And
I thought it was Klecko that had the sack record.
No, Gastineau had the sack record. Also had the ex-wife that had a reality show.
Because what was it? The 1981 season before they started keeping the sack records, the sack totals year in and year out. They went back and figured out that Joe Klecko had like 20 and a half.
Well, Gastineau had 21 and a half. So, and he should be in as well. But it was a good night. You get 2 rookies of the year. You get a Jet that should have been in a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You get a first ballot Jet, which I have not gotten to say many times in my life.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, it meant almost as much to me. Not quite as much, but it was right there in the old Feelies moment that Zack Thomas got in. He should have got in a long time ago.
Yeah,
I said that yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, it surprised me when he did.
Yeah, Zack Thomas finally making it in was great. And then, of course, I just want to say to all you people who said Rondé Barber will never be a Hall of Famer, suck it. Because I have been through this argument with people round and round over and over the years. Did he deserve to be in sooner than this? No. Did he necessarily, should this have been the year that he made it into the Hall of Fame? No, maybe not. Would I have put in others ahead of him? Yes. Yesterday when we talked about it, I would have put Torrey Holt in. But I'm glad to see Rondé Barber finally get his respect as one of the Hall of Famers of that Super Bowl 37 championship team. 4 guys off of 1 defense now in the Hall of Fame.
The voting for me is always awkward. I don't understand how you get to here.
What do you mean?
I said yesterday Zack Thomas should have been in long ago. But I don't understand how you got him in this time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you got him in over Andre Johnson. I don't understand how you got him in over Torrey Holt. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm frankly dumbfounded that you did. But we're getting to a point that it is going to be really hard to get into the Hall of Fame as a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Smith didn't even make it to the final 15.
Which was insane to me.
It wasn't to me because I don't know who you're supposed to take off. I do not know who off that list you're supposed to take off.
Right.
And that's kind of where you get to is, okay, so statistically, he's up there. Well, he played for a very long time, and he played in the beginning of the pass-happy era. I get it. Was he ever the best receiver in the NFL? No. Andre Johnson was.
Torrey Holt
and he
was.
can't get in.
Torrey Holt was.
Torrey Holt was at least debatable. There were a couple years that Andre Johnson was not debatable.
Oh, yeah.
He was the best receiver in the NFL.
It was him and Marvin.
And Marvin had Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough, and it's going to get tougher as time goes on. And you look at the first ballot guys next year, it ain't going to be easy to get in next year either.
Yeah. Next year, we should have a few first ballot Hall of Famers.
Julius Peppers.
Next year.
If he doesn't make it on the first ballot, it makes zero sense.
That's like Darrelle Revis. There's zero reason to question that. He's obviously going to be first ballot Hall of Famer. But then there are some other guys that you go, maybe. Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates will be a first ballot guy.
I believe so. And then Jeremy dropped this one on me, and I hadn't even thought about it. Haloti Ngata.
He should be, but he won't be.
He's one of the most dominating defensive tackles of all time. He will be a Hall of Famer at some point very soon.
I hope.
I think he'll be like a 3 or 4.
Haloti Ngata was like
guy.
Haloti Ngata was like Vita Vea before Vita Vea.
Mm-hmm.
He never got the respect he deserved. He was the best player in the league at his position for many years.
Still have yet to see Vita Vea, though, have a 96-yard fumble return for a touchdown?
Something like that.
That was probably one of the happiest moments of my life, to watch that big man rumble down the sideline and just score one for the fat guys. Thank you, Haloti Ngata, for that. He is going to be a Hall of Famer, absolutely. First ballot, no.
I'm not sure. I mean, but you got to look at what's coming up in the offing. How many different players? This is. You think we've talked about this in the past? You're going to have Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
That one's going to be fun for a long time because I don't think he gets in anytime soon. Matt Ryan, same thing. He's a former MVP that I don't think gets in anytime soon.
Yeah, eventually they will. Eventually they'll get in. But will it take so long as...
Well, I mean, we're talking about a backlog now, and you've got probably 30 deserving guys that will be on the ballot in the next 5 years.
Yes.
You can only let in 5. That becomes greatly probably... And I hope it doesn't get Haloti Ngata. That was the name that I saw on the list and went, oh, he should be, but he won't be, and it will take so much longer than it should. It took Joe Klecko this long.
Mm-hmm.
He played in the biggest media market in the country on a team that was actually good in the golden age of that franchise history. He's the first one of the 4, and I could argue that 2 more of them deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It was a great night, though. It was a great night to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. It was a great night to be a New York Jets fan. And now, Jeremy, all I can think of is maybe we should take a trip for the enshrinement.
Well, the Jets are going to be playing in the Hall of Fame game, and apparently with Sloan Jordan, I've already committed to doing this, and he's not going to let me out of it, and I don't want him to. I want to go.
Oh, you want to go?
I've never wanted to go to a Hall of Fame ceremony, ever.
We had talked about it a couple of years ago. When I think Hines Ward was going in and maybe Derek Brooks. I don't remember. There was a Jet, there was a Steeler, and there was a Bucks player going in at the same time, and we had talked about it.
This is the first time I've ever had jerseys signed by 2 players that were going in at the same time. I actually have 2 of them from Joe Klecko.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. The big game's coming up this Sunday, and you don't want to miss out on the party at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. Join me and Jeremy out there. We'll have more coming up next to wrap it up on a Football Friday.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 eastbound stop and go east of Hendersonville Road, continuing towards Chimney Rock Road. 26 westbound delays approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound in Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road, light delays. Checking the drive time, Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound, drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips, whatever you need. There's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Hey, drop what you're doing and clear your schedules. I heard Kohl's added thousands of new markdowns to clearance. And when I went, I saved up to 70% on so much cool stuff. Like cute home essentials, jeans for my whole fam, a cozy sweater for myself, a pair of boots for my husband, and more. So yeah, don't miss out. Get to Kohl's and thank me later. Select styles up to 70% offer ends February 20th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all.
iHeartRadio.
Access to all of your favorite radio stations.
It's Ryan Seacrest. I go by the name of Charlamagne the God.
Hi, I'm Ellen K.
Bobby Bones here. Hola, soy Enrique Santos.
Access to all of the best free curated playlists.
My favorite music. The best songs.
A little bit of everything.
Access to all of the great podcasts for every interest.
The Stuff You Should Know podcast.
The Daily Show podcast.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
And best of all, it doesn't cost a thing. Download the absolutely free iHeartRadio app now.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Sunday at 6:30, Super Bowl 57. Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, strength on strength. Number 1 offense against the number 1 defense. And it has finally arrived. The moment to put your final thought on this game.
My final thought is, if you think you live in a place where, but I can't get any wagers down, then you should take our promo code Sportsocracy to betus.com, and you can get anything you want. Plus, you get 125% free bets just for your deposit and using our promo code Sportsocracy at betus.com.
Indeed. Indeed you can.
I have set a new record for promos in one day.
Yeah, I think you have.
Let's go.
It's a good job by you. Good job by you. With this game, I keep going back to the defense being able to get the pressure on Patrick Mahomes. All right, is he going to be completely irrelevant? No, he's not. He's the greatest player in the game. He's going to be able to get this team in the end zone, but I think the same is going to be said for the other side as well. I mentioned number one offense for the Kansas City Chiefs against the number one number one defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, the Eagles also, statistically speaking, this year, they're the number 2 offense in the league, and the Chiefs, they do have a top 10 defense. That's saying something. Both these teams are going to be able to score, and I think it will come down to the final possession.
I haven't. And look, I've been wrong before. I've been wrong many times before. This is just one of those games that I've felt all week long like people are looking at it from the wrong direction, and I revert back to the most basic tenet of sports wagering that I've lived by for years. Who has the best quarterback, who has the best coach, and who's at home? One of those doesn't apply here. The other two, to me, are Kansas City by a lot.
I would agree. There's something about this team, this Philadelphia team, that I think they are the better team. Does Kansas City have the best coach? Do they have the best quarterback? Do they have the best weapon? I think that's an argument that we could make as well with Travis Kelce. But there's something about that Philadelphia scheme that I think they are going to be able to control the pace of the game more than you give them credit for, Jeremy. This is the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. Is Patrick Mahomes special? Yes. Is Andy Reid special as a play caller? Yes. But the talent lives on the other side of the ball, to me.
All right, our parting shot here. What is your score prediction for this game?
Score prediction. Ooh, I'm going Philadelphia wins 27-24.
So you think it's going to hit directly on the number?
Yeah, it's
right on 51.
It's going to be real close. I will take the over just to be on the safe side, but I think it's right there.
I'm going to go 34. I will go 34-24 Kansas City.
All right, a 10-point victory, which will be the blowout that you've been looking for. I can see it. It's going to be an all-time great. Please join us down at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue on Sunday. We'll be hanging out all afternoon and, of course, through the game. Kickoff at 6:30. Don't miss it.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Winter Storm Watch Saturday night and Sunday. Stay tuned for some wild weather swings this weekend. Cold rain kicks in tomorrow night, and then we'll follow that up with some snow Sunday morning. 38 degrees our low tonight with a cloudy sky. Saturday cloudy, high 51 degrees. Rain comes in Saturday night, 35, going over to snow quickly in the mountains and all the way down to the valley floor Sunday morning with a Winter Storm Watch. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound in Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue, no problems. New Leicester Highway, no backups. Biltmore Avenue moving well. Meadow Road, no delays. Amboy Road, incident-free. Checking the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is here. Shop and save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. Plus, get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. Find your dream bed at Mattress Firm. Then cozy up on your new bed because there's nothing better than staying in.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fair.